Yo, testing 1, 2. Okay, I can hear myself. I can hear myself for a minute. What's good, everybody? This your boy Slick 50 for those who don't know. For those who do know, y'all know how we get down up in this thing. Make sure you come through. Hit that subscribe button, the like button. No matter where you're at, hit the follow button. Salute to everybody over there on X that's already tuned in. So is over on YouTube, man. If you on X, it's pinned at the top, the link. You want to come through, hop on the show. Oh, I forgot to put the link in the chat. But yet and still, come on through. You know what I'm saying? State your opinion on these topics. This is the People Show. Oh, my goodness, man. What a turn of events. Turn of events. People going bananas. My God. Let me get this link in here real quick, y'all. Real quick. Copy. All right, the link is pinned at the top of the chat. Like I said, if you're over on X, come on over to YouTube and hit that link if you got something to say. Man, I hope everybody had a good 4th of July, man. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick let a dope video out. People reading into it a whole lot harder than they need to. It's a whole lot going on, man, but this ain't what this for. This is about sports and everything in between. But y'all see the headline: Ryan Garcia, Stephen A. Smith. The whole talk, man, is just nuts. But we do got good fights happening tomorrow. But nevertheless, let me cut this off. That's gonna irritate me. All right, there we go. This whole Ryan Garcia thing, boy, tell you how the tables turn. As y'all know, he got caught with, I forgot, Ostring in his system. I myself still feel the same way that I felt the entire time about that situation. And a lot of people are hitting me up trying to combine the two. It's no combining the two. One is sports related and one is definitely not. All right. So I still feel the same way how I feel about Ryan's situation and the whole doping thing or whatever. And if you don't know, he has to be responsible, whether if it was given to him and he didn't know what it was or set up. I don't care what it is. You need to be held accountable for not being responsible enough to know what you're ingesting. Period. What are you putting in your body, right? Having said that, this whole situation with Ryan Garcia being racist, I want to say this like this. For me, I don't care how racist a person is. I never let that person get under my skin. I've had people say to my face plenty of times, I am from the Midwest, you know what I'm saying? And I've lived quite a few places. And I can see how something like this for him, how he can feel like it's blown out of proportion, but you gotta understand again, it's not where you from, it's where you at. And it's the same thing for this day and age. You know what I mean? But I just wanna, before I jump into that part, I wanna just say this, man. The man let out I don't know how many apologies and doubled down on it first. Said he wasn't apologizing for nothing. Okay? Then half-ass apology. And then the other apology sounded like, this last one, I'm going to rehab, blase, blase. I love black people. This is it. It's a whole messy situation. The last one sounded like he was forced to do it. Now, me, I'm on my way to work and I was tuned in. He did sound drunk, but I was taught, as probably a lot of y'all, a drunk person speaks with a sober mind. And there was this part that everybody keeps leaving out in there or whatever. Well, it's not left out. You can go find it on YouTube. Where he there was a guy that jumped on his spaces over there on X, and he was like, "Yo, you tripping? Like, why you keep saying that and this and the third?" And he was talking to his friend about, like, how are you condoning this? You're black and you're condoning him saying this, not nigga with A-E-E-R. And there's a lot of people out here They ain't black, don't understand the difference. But amongst black people, there is a difference. And he knows the difference. So much so that the guy kept getting into it with Ryan's friend, which is black. He was trying to defend the fact as of XYZ, and this is why. And he was saying, you got a lot of yes men around you, blah, 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 blah. Ryan said, fuck that. Let me holler at this nigga. He said nigga. Then he turned around, nigger. What you gonna do? You ain't gonna do nothing to me. Nigger. At that point, I did have to cut it off. I said he tripping, because once you did that, it wasn't that you didn't know what you were saying or how to say it or whatever, right? And I know some people is like, he shouldn't say it at all. Ryan has said nigga before, bro. Like, I've heard him say it, bro. Like, it's nothing new. And in his situation, if you never lived on the coast, like West Coast, East Coast, they say those things. I got into it with a gentleman on YouTube about the East Coast. I never lived on the East Coast, and Puerto Ricans that way and stuff. They say that, right? But even though I got into it with the gentleman about it, we had a few back and forth. You know, I was like, all right, I get it. Enough people called me, was like, this is how it is, bro. But you still gotta know everybody's not gonna accept it, because when you're on the internet, you're touching the world. In the Midwest, it don't fly like that. In the South, it don't fly like that. Reason being because Midwest, like where I'm at, all right, we don't have a lot of Mexicans and Hispanics and stuff like that here. And the ones we do, they're straight from Mexico. They could barely speak English. We don't have a lot of Mexican Americans here. Okay? And when you do come across a Spanish person speaking English, they're usually really young, like 13. They're first generation born here, and they're speaking for their whole family. You know what I mean? And things like that, because nobody else knows how to speak English. When you go to the West Coast, it's different. Black and brown pride is real. He said that in his last apology. And that lets me know that he doesn't know how the rest of the world operates. It's pride like that amongst over there in New York, the East Coast. Over here in the Midwest and South, we don't know nothing about that. I do, but a lot of people don't. So when he got to screaming that and he doubled down on the ER and all that's when it went left. When I heard nigga, I wasn't even tripping off of it. Like I said, I've heard him say that before. I don't know why people act like it's new to hear him say nigga, but when he said nigger, and what you gonna say about it? What you gonna do about it? Ain't nobody gonna touch me. Then he went on and said still ain't nobody touching him. He walking around. Bro, it was one thing when he was drunk, but when he went to that restaurant or whatever it was and he doubled down on it, that's when it was like, wow. And whatever the older guy is that's on that show, I see you, DJ. I'm gonna let you on, DJ. I see you. Whoever the old guy is on that show was defending him, talking about he's young, he's going through a thing. Let me tell you something. Them people were using Ryan, and they was egging him on. And his friends are yes people, right? Yes men. But I was taught if he's the bag, they should protect the bag. His friends ain't real, bro. They should have told him instantly, hey, you tripping, bro. You need to chill out. You know what I'm saying? And then for Oscar to get on, and then you go so on past that. And it's like, damn, Ryan, that's how you feel, bro? Then Oscar put out a statement, and I think that's when the pressure hits Ryan. But then the WBC hits Ryan, expels him, which they should have, which people don't understand why. I'm seeing a lot. Oh, they ain't do this to who? They ain't do this to the third. No, bro, that shit should go for everybody, bro. If you a public figure, I don't care who you with, something should happen to you, bro. Whoever made up sticks and stones could break your bones. Words will never hurt me. They full of shit, bro. It take a strong man, and it's a lot of people out here, especially in this day and age of the youth that's full of anxiety and all these things. You know, they soft, bro. They can't accept that. I'm sorry. I'm just speaking real. His generation is like that. You know what I mean? And For you to do that, bro, you just stirring the pot, bro. So WC, kudos for you for doing that. Doesn't mean he can't get back in their good graces. That's why he going to rehab, to show them if he really gonna go to rehab, and he's trying to make the right move. And the reason I say it's good, because when it's a black guy, now I'm not turning this racial, but I'm about to make some real points, man. You got Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon didn't even say nothing wrong, bro. They took his show. Kyrie Irving didn't do nothing wrong. And the list goes on and on. You understand me? Forced to take classes or whatever the case, sit down with a rabbi, or something had to happen. But when it's one of them, nothing really happens. Well, I ain't gonna say one of them, anybody other than a black person, nothing really happens. So, and like I said, I think a lot of people think because he looked like a kid, this is a grown ass man, 25 with 2 kids. At some point, you got to grow up and take life serious. And this is a serious matter to the point where that's, like I say, that touched nationwide. He travels. You have no idea. It's crazy folks out here, bro, that will react off that and will just be narrow-minded and look at him in that light. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it is what it is, but do I hate? No, I don't believe combating hate. I just know it makes my mind up if I'm gonna mess with you or not. You know what I mean? I don't know, bro, but the WBC stepped in. It's not like he cared about belts anyways, to be honest with you. He didn't. So I don't know how much that's gonna do. And as for Oscar, talking about gather all the information, I don't know if I would have expelled him. The fuck do you mean? But this is the pot calling the kettle black, isn't it? I recall him saying racist shit too. Nigga this, nigga that, in some emails. He was caught up in the whole thing too. So stop playing, bro. Like, there ain't no defending that. Playing or not, you should never do that, bro. Right? You should never do that, bro. Especially being a public figure. You can't escape it. And you gotta be way smarter than that in this day and age to think because you on the internet, that makes it perfectly fine. When you see the Kyrie Irvings, the shit he had to go through, Nick Cannons, and it's some more I can't even think of, bro. And they get publicly persecuted, bro. I'm talking about make him kiss the boot. You want your show back? Kiss my boot. Go sit with that rabbi. Didn't he say nothing wrong? Nick Cannon didn't say nothing wrong. Kyrie Irving put a video up and said, y'all should check this out. All of a sudden he anti-Semite. That's not what's up. This dude actually says and go at another black person, multiple black people on his show, and kept calling them nigger over and over and over and over again. And people feel like, oh man, he was, nah, fuck that. It's called personal responsibility. If I get on here and go on a tirade and YouTube choose to kick me off, then I deserve it. If I go on here and talk bad about white people, Muslims, all sorts of stuff, then I deserve that. And that's the least. Like, there ain't no tolerance for hatred, bro. It just really ain't, bro. And for people to, and now this is for the fans. Fans don't shit on people because they have their own opinion. If somebody choose to keep their personal opinion to themselves, don't shit on them because they not getting on their show and choosing sides. Because I'm not. I'm here for the sport. I'm here for boxing. But that right there, bro, that's not boxing, bro. I've been saying maybe he bipolar or something, but no, it's more than that. It's starting to seem more entitlement than anything. What it is, how his parents raised him, bro. You can go far as back when he was on stage when his father was going back and forth with Bill Haney. Shut your nappy head ass up and all that type shit. Right? Like, it goes back to that. It's a lot deeper than appeal could fix, bro. And that's just my opinion on it. I hate him? No, but I bet you hate yourself. Because that cut you out of all your endorsement money. They cut you out of all of that. And they gonna come at you for it. You get what I'm saying? There's no way that should be tolerated. And in my lifetime, I've seen it be tolerated by every other nationality but black folks. It's too late to scream brown pride, I love black people, or any of that. At the end of the day, what happened is happening. He lucky that's all that's happening. And I'm betting endorsements gonna fall right behind it. Somebody must have gotten his ear if it wasn't Oscar or Bernard. Like, what is you doing? You tripping? It was somebody, because that last apology was kind of formal. But you can't double down before that. I ain't never apologized. Last time I apologized was never. And ain't nobody gonna do nothing. I'm still walking. Ain't nobody gonna touch me. Then after that, write a half-ass apology and put it on Instagram Live and everywhere for everybody to see, and then come with that. It don't work like that, bro. It don't work like that, bro. Like I said, in this day and age, bro, people forgive, but people don't forget. People ain't forgot about what Oscar did. Him getting caught up on that. Or any of that shit. 913, what's happening? DJ, I see you say you'll be back. But nonetheless, like I said, this is a grown ass man. Quit making it sound like he's some child. He not. He's a grown ass man that got 2 kids and need to grow up. Like I said, if he need rehab, he didn't say what he need rehab for. He need a lot more. A lot more. Some real friends, somebody to give him a hug, counseling, everything. If he think it's all right to walk around the world and just say that. You can be a racist all you want, because I prefer my racists to be out anyways. So I know how to deal with you. But other than that, let me tell you something. Being a public figure in the boxing game, man, you'll turn everything personal. And that shit'll turn right upside down on you'll be right upside down on your head. And that's a fact. And that's my take on it. Man, let's see if anybody else got something to say about it. 913 just stepped up in this thing, man. What it do, Brody?
And what's up with you, bro?
Nothing. Just state my opinion on this whole, Ryan Garcia want to apologize for that shit he pulled.
Man, you know what? When I heard that shit, bro, I was like, duh. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to, because I know you got your show or whatever, and I don't want to be like an asshole, but I think like all this shit is a publicity stunt. This shit is going on too long, and it just seemed like both parties is doing goofy shit to the point that they want to get their name mentioned for something. They don't give a fuck if it's good or bad. Like, any press is good press type shit. And it's like, damn, this shit right here is just like, duh. I woke up thinking like, okay, what's gonna happen now? Because they always got some shit going on, bro.
Yeah, every day is always something with Ryan, but I figured, for me, like I said, I was up. Rod hit me that evening. I told him I heard it that morning. I heard pretty much the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Riding to work, and he said he was drunk, but the part that got me is when this black dude got on there and he was like, "I'm gonna get it, Ryan, but I want to talk to your friend because his friend is black, right?" And he was like, "Yo, how you up here and listening to that? Like, how is that all right?" You know what I'm saying? So dude came back, well, he ain't lying. Black people kill black people every day. He's like, okay, that's fine and dandy, bro. But if you from the hood, 9 times out of 10, the hood is all black. Of course, it's gonna be black crime. White people kill white people. He had a point. You know what I'm saying? It's like you go to China, guess what? There's gonna be a lot of people from China. There's gonna be a lot of people that's Chinese killing Chinese people. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And man, we talking about the hood. He was like, nah, you can't be not from the hood and talk on the hood, right?
Yeah.
And then Ryan just butted in and was like, nah, let me get this nigga. Oh, my bad. Let me get this nigger. What you gonna do? Ain't nobody gonna touch me. I said what the fuck I want to say. When I heard that, I said, oh, it's a rap, bro. You just, everything else when he said nigga was like, okay, he drunk. You get what I'm saying? Because you didn't know if like he was a cat that knew how to use the word or not. You feel me? It was like, cause he'll be like slurring, cause like he was drunk. He'd be like, yeah, nigga, cause sometimes these niggas be woo woo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like that. But when he did that to old boy, I said, oh, yeah, you just fucked yourself.
I think I didn't listen to it for one, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I just think, man, this is just another publicity stunt. I just think that this is some shit that next week Bill Haney will be doing some goofy shit. You feel me?
Yeah, but I can't see them going in on white folks and calling them XYZ or getting on there talking about.
It may be something totally different. It may be something totally different.
Like that was what we call jumping out the window.
Yeah,
what he did.
I expected that. One of the two parties is gonna jump out the window. I was just like, it's any time. These niggas gonna jump. Like, nigga, somebody gonna jump.
Yeah, because it went to the point, I don't know if you know where the WC then spelled him. They don't have nothing to do with it. He can't even fight for the belt. If he get the opportunity, he ain't getting it. He not in the rankings. He not nothing. The heck with him. And I expect the rest to follow. But like I said, I don't know how good is that gonna do, because this a man don't care. He don't want to fight for belts anyways. You feel me?
Yeah.
But and then it just got worse for me when Oscar. I don't know who got on him, because like when he sobered up, right, he got right back on live and kept playing and was somewhere eating and talking about, I ain't apologizing. He was like, last time I apologized was never. I don't care. What I said was true and XYZ. Then he kept trying to say he didn't say nothing about Muslims, which he did. He was like, fuck Muslims. He was like, blah, blah, blah. He was going in on some dumb shit. Like, he was off his rocker, right? So then he reneged on that. And then he came back with this half apology. And then all of a sudden he came with a formal apology talking about rehab. You can't do that all in one day and think like you making it worse. You get what I'm saying? You should have waited, had some space between it. And now you got Oscar trying to clean up his mess, talking about we don't condone it. He puts a statement out. But then somebody catches him live. I think because there's a pay to fight tomorrow. And he was like, yeah, I don't agree with the WBC, but because you got to get all the facts. What more facts you need? Right? And this is funny coming from Oscar, because me and you were just talking about this. Oscar himself was caught doing the same thing. Except wasn't no Twitter then. It wasn't no lives. It was emails. Talking about this nigga, this nigga, that. You understand me?
Yeah. But I think all this shit, man, none of this shit translates into a fucking fight.
No, it don't. That's why I said this is outside of sport. When I first started this monologue, fam, because people was hitting me up on Instagram and stuff, was saying, well, you was kind of taking up on. Look, what I said about Ryan, I stand on that. He got it. Hey, I don't know how you pass 4 tests and then you pop, right? It gotta be some truth in the matter of what he's saying. He took some shit, but I still say he a damn cheat, because you still gotta be
piece of shit
conscious. Yeah, you gotta be conscious of what you're taking. What are you ingesting? You can't just take stuff. So at the end of the day, you popped, right? But and I'll start off saying that's part of the sport. This shit ain't the sport. This look like this just who you are.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And I was taught a drunk speak with a sober mind.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? And then you double down on it. And then you make a live when you sober up, saying what you not gonna do. Like you heard the live and you feel like you didn't say nothing wrong and you not gonna apologize. Bruh, stop it. Stop it. And I even gave him a pad, like, okay, the difference is this. You from the West Coast, fam. You know what I'm saying? I lived on the West Coast. Like I said, I got into with a cat on a tube from New York, right? Mm-hmm. And he was Puerto Rican, and it was the way he kept saying nigga, and I was like, what the fuck this dude think he is? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, the fuck? And we had a thing to some of his buddies the way we got what they call that when you mutual friends would hit me up like he from the East Coast, fam. That's how they kind of do. I was like, bro, but he might finna do that to me, bro. I'm not from there.
And you see that's the thing, right? I was gonna say, but I didn't want to.
That's what I said in the beginning. No, but that's what I said in the beginning. I
said we was talking on the phone, and I was telling you the difference between the West Coast and the Midwest or even the South.
Right.
Racism between black people in the Midwest or the South is kind of like a black and white thing.
Right.
And on the West Coast, it becomes more of a Hispanic thing. Black and Hispanic thing. So me just coming up in the West Coast, I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean?
But living on the West Coast, like I said in the beginning, some of them they can get away with that. I've watched Asians in California say nigga with no problem. Nobody says nothing. Like it's just normal.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? In New York and the East Coast, they do that. But see, you come here, like you said, you come here, it's like, what? What?
Yeah.
But you can't do that. Like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? It's different.
You got to set healthy boundaries. I don't think, like,
Ronnie, what's happening?
The friend that he had with him. Oh, that's my son.
Yeah, son.
But I don't think that the friend that he was with set them healthy boundaries. And,
no.
You know, for Black people, you know, it's up to you to set them boundaries. Some people don't have a problem with it. Some people do. But
right,
then,
fam.
if you have like somebody from another race who's your friend, who y'all talk like that amongst yourself, and you gave him that pass, you have to let him know that, hey, bro,
you ain't even gotta do that.
But nigga, don't be saying that shit to everybody.
You ain't gotta do that because they probably have no sense. Check this out. My boy Bob, right?
Mm-hmm.
AKA White Chocolate. Grew up in the hood, the only white boy in the hood. One of two, all right? Kirk and Bob, all right? Kirk was spoiled. He didn't last long. Bob was that dude, though. You understand me?
Yeah.
I told you about Bob already.
Motherfucker named White Chocolate seemed like he give you that phone call. Hey, man, I got your bitch, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, if he got on the phone, bro, you would have knew he was white.
Yeah.
Like, but it ain't no acting. This is just who I could say that's just who he is. He don't know nothing else. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Straight from East St. Louis, Washington Park. He don't know nothing else. Right? But he got enough sense to know that once he leave his terrain in East St. Louis, that don't fly. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He not gonna do it because he know it's offensive. Now in the hood, all people, everybody know him in East St. Louis. Nobody trips off of him, right? Because they know his situation. You get what I'm saying? This is a situation he was born in. Yeah. But when he leave and come to St. Louis, across the bridge, oh no, he not doing that.
Yeah, he's a goofy Mexican dude from Victorville. It ain't like he's from South Central, Watts, Inglewood. You know what I'm saying? He's not from one of those active areas.
Right.
So, you know.
That's why I said I can see how he think because he on the West Coast. And this ain't the fact. Like I've heard Ryan say nigga before this.
Yeah.
Nigga. You understand me? And I ain't trip out because like in my mind I'm like, he from the West Coast. They do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But goddamn me, when he said the ER thing, that's when I was like, oh, this dude know. Now he tripping. This is where he's on purposely. You see what I'm saying? That's not trolling, bro. That's beyond trolling. That's you erase at that point. Erasing, like I said, for the people sticking up for him, talking about the WBC tripping. No. Look up. Do what happened to Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon didn't even do nothing wrong. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie Irving didn't do nothing wrong. But suggest to go look at a movie.
But I think it's a double whammy. I think it's a publicity grab, and I think he's just ignorant in a motherfucker. And I don't expect much out of him as a human being. I just think he's like a piece of shit. Yeah. But you know, my stance though with this whole Haney thing is you know, I've talked so much about what Haney's doing wrong. That, you know what I'm saying, people automatically assume that I'm going for Ryan, but Ryan is a piece of shit. Like, bro, I don't expect nothing less from what the fuck he did. I don't. From me,
well, he showed his true colors, bro.
Yeah.
He didn't show them. And I don't know how you come back from that. I don't know. Like, I can imagine he would start getting phone calls from his endorsements, and you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing, bro? They can't represent that. You know what I'm saying? So something happened to the point where he wrote a real formal apology or whatnot. You know, and I don't think he's going to rehab. I think he's gonna go to a beach and chill the fuck out, and they're gonna take his phone from him. Yeah. That's what I think they're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So,
but he need to get him some help. Some help, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, man. Because before I say what I said, DJ, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah,
How
what's
are
your
you, Slick?
what's up,
913.
man?
How you going?
What's up, Deej?
I didn't want to interrupt while you had a roll on. I wanted to hear and let you get your initial thoughts and feelings out. So I was just sitting here and listening. And to be honest, I've got some respectful curiosity around
Okay.
some of this. Given, well, if I start a question for one or both of you, explain to me or give me some context if you can, so that I can clearly understand when or only when or what the difference is between nigger with an A and nigger with an ER.
Okay, nigger.
Help me differentiate those two so that every other time I hear it, there's some context behind it.
All right. This is what it turned to. It was nigger with an ER. Always has been in the beginning, right? And that was a derogatory term that white folks came up with to describe black people. Okay.
So that's not dissimilar to the same types of words that were used over here in Australia with reference to the Indigenous or Aboriginals, right? I'm not familiar with the spelling and how that changes the context and how it's used. I understand the origins.
Well, the spelling and how you say it matters, and it's a lot of things always based off syllables and how you say things, whatnot. So like nigga with an A is like between black people, it's like a term of endearment, and it's based on how you use it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just based on different octaves. I say, "What's up, my nigga?" That's like, "Oh, that's my homeboy." You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
If I say, "Nigga, shut the fuck up," that means I'm mad at you. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, could I add something to that, too, Slick?
Yeah.
The way it was explained to me from my parents is African American culture is a thing where we was always given scraps. A lot of the African American soul food is pretty much scrap food, like pork intestines, chitlins, and
greens.
That's a staple. Greens, stuff like that. And we always had the scraps. And one of the scraps that we had, unfortunately, was that word nigger and nigger. And what we did was we took the scraps and put a little seasoning on it and added an A and took the ER out.
Right.
And now we took the scraps and we turned it into a term of endearment amongst each other and only amongst each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so
what I'm hearing, if that's correct, then that by way of majority, it's only ever a term of endearment within like for like ethnicity or culture.
Yep.
So someone outside of that ethnicity or culture shouldn't or wouldn't be advised to use that language, even if it's got the right intentions behind it. It's too easy for it to be misconstrued as an insult or a derogatory term. Would that be fair?
Right.
Yep.
That's exactly right. Like when I used to go to this white school, and they used to play the word cracker, right? And they thought it was jokingly with it, and it used to throw me off. But I couldn't say that, because if I said that, even if I was joking with them, if a teacher would have saw me saying that, the first thing they would have thought was I didn't like white people. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So in the States, are there any laws around racism?
Finally.
Well, I'm gonna be real with you. Yeah and no.
Right.
Well, how does that clear it up, Slick?
For instance, we have amendments, and amendments aren't permanent, meaning that you got the Constitution, right? And they scream, well, the Constitution says, but everything for black people in the Constitution is an amendment, which means it can be changed at any fucking time. Every 20 years, they have to vote. They have to sign a piece of paper saying that black people can still vote in this country. This is 100% real, 100% fact. But if you
was written, we was only 3/4 considered human.
So they had 3/4 of a man.
Yeah, 3/4. Yeah.
So then you go past that. Let's fast forward it to 2024. But if you're gay, you get a whole bill written for you saying that if I hit you, I can do so many years, and you better not say nothing about a gay person because they like to suck dick. So at the end of the day, you know, if a person's sexuality comes before a person's well-being, yeah, racism is very much alive, and there's not no laws. And not just pick on the LGBTQ, but also, you know, Asians have a bill. See what I'm saying? Other nationalities have bills. You see what I'm saying? White folks don't need a bill here because hell, they write the laws. Everything that was already written for them. There's nothing, and this is out of no hatred or nothing. This is I'm not saying nothing that you can't look up and read yourself. You get what I'm saying?
And Slick, what would you say? It's been.
They're still hanging young black men, and then they try to write it off and say, "Oh, we think it might be suicide," but they never come back and say this is what happened. You get what I'm saying? We still find these things happening in the South and things like that. Like it's pretty bad. You know what I'm saying? It just get masked with a lot of other stuff, and they try to mask it with other black success. You see what I'm saying?
And it's probably about 50 or 60 years ago we was able to use the toilet in this country.
Yeah, just 50 or 60 years ago.
Where we wasn't allowed to go to the same bathrooms and drink out of the same fountains.
Right.
And so our grandparents went through that. Our parents went through that as kids. And so our generation, which would be called Generation X, we're the first generation that wasn't born into it.
Right. And it's... Go ahead, DJ.
So one of the reasons I asked that question, and look, it sounds to me, Slick, that the amendment isn't about, on face value, isn't about temporarily allowing people to do things. It's that the amendment is the only reasonable and functional way to add and change the Constitution over time, as opposed to going back and rewriting the whole thing in ink forever, because I'm led to believe that that's quite difficult to do.
It's not. Just don't amend it. Just put it there. See, amendment is a word that has a definition. You see what I'm saying? Don't put amend in front of it. This amendment. Right. No, just write it after what you wrote. Take amendment off, and it's permanent. You see what I'm saying? It's ever so simple. If you can have a vote, hear me out on this. If right now we can have a vote, right, and make it have an amendment, right? Then they easily shouldn't have been a vote for amendment. It should have been an amendment to just add it, right? So somebody in their mind somewhere was saying we might have to go back and change it. You get what I'm saying?
Did I interrupt 913?
No.
I was just
no.
Come back at a different time and ask some of these questions.
No. You're perfectly fine. No, he had to step off for a minute. He just texted me.
Okay. So one of the reasons I was asking about what laws are in place, because there's part of my misunderstanding of or lack of education around the Constitution and freedom of speech. So let me give an example. Here in Australia, we don't have it written anywhere that freedom of speech is a right or a law. Right? It's just, I suppose, fairly and reasonably allowed, so long as people aren't being derogatory, prejudiced, discriminatory, racist, all of those sorts of things. But we do have laws around specific racism, discrimination, and prejudice that pretty much align that not equality, but discrimination pretty much just talks to that no one should be disadvantaged by way of opportunity or treatment based on race, religion, culture, gender, all those sorts of things. And they're genuine laws, particularly in employment and those sorts of things. So where I was actually leading to in all of this is that on what basis then was the WBC using perhaps a law, like leveraging a law or an expectation to say, look, Ryan, you're out. You can't do this.
It's basically everything you said. You know, discrimination is number one. They don't condone no sorts of discrimination or racism. Okay. This is where American law get tricky, bro, because like they say we have freedom of speech, but it's free. Like we have a saying, it's only free until it's not. Okay.
Right up until someone hears something they don't agree with.
Right. So like freedom of speech basically protects a man and another man, or a woman and another woman going at it. And if a said white person or said whoever want to say, look, you're a no good nigger, I'm not able to touch them. I'm just supposed to walk away. You see what I'm saying? At that moment, it's freedom of speech, right? But say if he did that to a law, one of the law, like a policeman, FBI agent, you fucking nigger, or whatever. It could be a black person and call the white one a cracker. They'll call that assault on an officer, and then you go to jail. So it's free until it's not. You get what I'm saying?
I do. Do you know that, just quickly, you've still got your intro music running in the background, if you knew?
Yeah. I was trying to adjust it to get it low, but it's irritating. That's why you heard me cut it out and cut it back off. I was trying to get it to where it'd be a little more quieter, but I cut it off.
So this is, I was watching even Punch Drunk's channel there yesterday, and it was a can of worms what was actually going on there on his channel, and people
really he gotta let me know. I didn't even know he went live.
Well, I'm assuming it's the same one. His channel's spelled PUNCH.
Yeah. I didn't get the alert.
Oh, it was wild, but I just trying to understand some of the questions that I'm asking here is because what left me after I'd listened to some of those conversations and points of view, and it wasn't about judging people whether they were right or wrong. It's just I come away from that and I said, well, how and why do people still get so emotional about the race thing? Now, I'm not saying they're not wrong to. It's just that comparatively, there are small sections of populations, not large, but small sections of populations that represent in Australia, that represent different cultures and race and bits and pieces. And it is really only the minorities that seem to still want to focus on using the past as leverage, or I suppose emotional hurt, whatever's real, right? Now you times that by 100, because we've got 30 million compared to your 340, 350 million people over there, and I was just interested to understand, I suppose, some truths rather than some perceptions, like the laws, like the context of with an A or an ER and those sorts of things. Because I think that what I've realised, or what my perception is that people get so tied up in their own emotion that they forget at times some of the definitions that they're talking about. Those definitions and facts go straight out the window and just get overwhelmed by emotion.
I agree. Now,
that's my perception, not my criticism.
Yeah, no. I enjoy conversations like this. This is how it is. I'm trying to put it in an easy perspective. And we want racism to be gone, right? But I'm a realist. Racism will never leave. Okay, it's always gonna be somebody with some sort of hatred, in a heart that's just born that way. You know what I mean? So it's never gonna go nowhere, and it's always gonna like somebody. It's always gonna be someone who dislikes someone because they're different. You know. So I know for a fact, I'm not ignorant to the fact that it's not gonna leave. It's not gonna go nowhere. It's when it's the powers that be want to keep things the same. And it's sad that a word was created to the point where it cuts so deep, and it has carried on from years to years, and they carry on from years and years. Only because the only time when you generally hear it comes out a white person, it come out with the er is from a white person, and it's used as hatred. You get what I'm saying? It's like the deepest word you could use to cut a black person. Now, like I said at the beginning of this monologue, for me, I've had a person in my face. You know what I'm saying? And I was taught it's not the first person that gets in trouble; it's the second person that gets in trouble because they're the one that react. You get what I'm saying? So I don't trip off of it. It takes a lot out of me not to do nothing, and I just walk away. And I say I prefer my races to be out loud. That way, I know how to deal with you. You see what I'm saying? So it won't never go nowhere. It will always be here. Now, the part that's constantly thrown in your face, like I say, you're not hearing your states, but you may hear of our basketball teams and things like that, right? And all our basketball teams, football teams, they hold our the main city of your state. Okay, so like San Francisco 49ers, um, Detroit Lions, when it was the St. Louis Rams, LA Rams. And you would think that these big teams that play there and all this stuff, no, it's not. You would think it's nice. It's not. Most of where your teams play are impoverished cities. And they take the money and it goes elsewhere. And it's like you're contained and it's not fair. Me, I was fortunate enough to get out. Like I said, I lived plenty of places. You get what I'm saying? And it was inspiring because when I came up in St. Louis City, it's not a fun place to grow up. I had a podcast I did on my other channel about this. Like, people think I'm so tough and this and that. And I explained to them, as a kid, if you see my background for, I got Funko Pops everywhere and collectibles and stuff, right? That stems from me being a kid, and people, when they see that, they be like, man, this is a whole nother side of you I didn't know. But it's like that because where I'm from is eat or get ate. It's a dog eat dog world. So I had to be tough. Did I want to be a gangster? No, I didn't. I didn't. But the area I grew up in, I had to be.
The
You
same
get what
thing
I'm
happened.
saying?
I
So
do, and I'll let you keep going. But what I want to say just there is that there's a piece of that for me that represents resilience rather
mhm,
than tough or gangster,
right.
because the same competitive or the same competition happens in different environments. Imagine the corporate
Right.
world, right?
Right.
Some of those people are probably stepping over their mother's grave to get a
Y-
promotion, right?
yep. Yep.
Um, but it just presents differently, where one environment presents as violence, in another environment it might present as corruption,
Mm-hmm.
influence, those sorts of things. So
Mm-hmm.
it's people needing to show a level of resilience, even at school. As a kid, it's only fair, I think, that kids should be within reason exposed to some level of challenge. I'm not saying bullying or racism or any of those sorts of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but that's where they learn at the fundamentals to start
Yeah.
dealing with controversy, start building resilience, mental, physical toughness, whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and from my position, I'm a little bit like you in that I've been fortunate to travel parts of the world. And some of the things that have left a real tattoo on my brain is some of the third world countries where families are living literally and real out of
Mm-hmm.
cardboard boxes, right?
Right. Right.
Parents parents are having kids just to actually use those kids once they're
For
old enough
welfare.
for sex, because that's the only income that they can
Mm.
use. That's how bad it is. So
Oh wow.
When I come back to Australia and I want to whinge and bitch about this, that, and something else, I've already got a completely different reference point that says, well, you know, am I doing it tougher than everyone else in the world? And the answer is
Right.
no, right?
Right. Right.
And that's how it's helped me ground me over a period of time. And those things that I was exposed to was when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah. No, I agree totally with that, and I agree with that. Made me resilient as well, and maybe it was a poor choice of words of saying gangster or whatever, because I was tough as they came, but my mind was still in school, and you know what I'm saying, moving around and things like that. But at some point, it feels, as some of them people you say you've been around, and it makes you feel like you didn't have it worse, and makes you appreciate what you have, is that there's no opportunity, so it's like you feel confined, and then when you do get out, you wonder like, okay, why don't I have this opportunity? Why don't I have these same? And then as you get older, you learn why they shift the money to this side. Like I grew up, my school didn't have books, bro, and some of the schools still don't have books.
I hate
Why?
reading. It's not that I can't. I just hate
Right.
reading it
I'm
all.
just saying though,
So
like,
send me
but
to
if you
that school.
but if you go to racism is very alive in the Midwest to the point where, you know, if you fill out a school application here and you're mixed, right? You know what mixed is, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, okay. So mixed just mean mixed, period. But then if you fill out application for school for your kid, it says mixed. It'll say biracial, and then it'll say mixed black and white. It's to that point of discrimination. You get what I'm saying? Like, what does it matter? So as you grow older, you just see things, and some people hold on to that bitterness. You see what I'm saying? When you get selected, like for instance, they take the smart kids from the city and send them to the white schools, and they make the white schools look good, so they get all the money. You see what I'm saying? And that makes all the inner city schools look stupid. I don't know if you ever heard the jokes they make about public schools in America, like the public school
Oh,
system is trash.
it's
Well, it
probably not
looks like
similar.
trash because all the smart kids are being shipped to the other schools. You get what I'm saying? You're taking all the smart kids and send them to other schools. If them smart kids would stay in public school where they became smart, public schools would look so bad. But this is what they do. And you grow up and you see these things, right? And a lot of people hold on to them. Instead of me, I take it in account, keep it in my mind, and just to be aware. You get what I'm saying? And that's how I make my choices. So none of it's personal to me. Like my dad told me when we grew up, I had a solid father that would let me know things like you don't have to dress like where we live. I know where we live at kind of look raggedy, but you don't have to dress like it. I was taught you always want to look nice because you never know who you're gonna bump into. It might be a grand opportunity. When I used to be mad about not being able to find a job, hey, you gonna either stay here or you gonna get up and get out and look. Keep trying. I was always taught those things: perseverance, keep going. You know what I'm saying? Keep moving, and that's what always motivated me. But that's the difference from coming from being a Gen Xer to now, because if they call like to bring Ryan back in the fold, what he doing was just a cry for help. No, that just shows how messed up this generation is. Then
So, what I thought I heard in all of that, or in some of that, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Mhm.
is that you were taught or you chose not to be a victim of your environment.
Yeah,
If you didn't get the opportunities that you wanted or were seeking where you were at any given time, you were brave enough and motivated enough to go find that opportunity somewhere else. Would that be fair?
yeah, but as a caveat, like it made you. It's my environment made me a monster, just a smart monster. Like I knew I had to survive. Okay. See, you survive in your house, you stay in the house every day. But once you leave your porch, it's a whole different ball game, right? I was the smart monster where, I did bad things and things like that, but I knew, hey, this ain't what's up. I don't want to keep doing this. This ain't for me. I gotta figure this out. I gotta get away from this shit. You see what I'm saying? I've been to jail. I've done, so I'm not without fault at all. It's just that if put it this way, some people have opportunities or resources there so they don't have to be that monster. I had to be that monster to fight my way to that or earn money to get to that, to those opportunities, if that makes sense.
Grifting. You were grifting at an early age. Like,
Yeah, like really, I had to do that, bro. I tell you one of my courses. Check it out. I was selling drugs. I was 16, went to drug court, and I had good grades, and the court couldn't understand it. Dude, you got A's and B's. What are you doing? And I told him, A's and B's don't feed me. And that judge looked at me. He said, what? I said, dude, I'm not just out here doing this. I got to be able to eat. I have clothes. I need, you know what I'm saying? And they wanted to throw me in a hole, but he didn't. He gave me probation, right? And he called it, what do you call it? Something of passion, where they could throw the charges out, and I forgot what the judge called it. Not a crime of passion, but oh my God, somebody, if y'all know what I'm talking about, help me out. And what he did was they kept a close look with my teachers and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And all of that. But that's where my mind was. Like, I had to fight tooth and nail, bro. Like, I knew that's not where I wanted to be. You get what I'm saying? I was around people that were content with how they were living and what they had to do what they do. And I was around some that wasn't, that I can go talk to. Like, I'm sick of this shit, bro. Like, why do I have to do this just to get to X, Y, and Z? Why do I have to jump over these hurdles and go through these problems and risk this, and that just to do X, Y, and Z? You get what I'm saying? There's sometimes you jump them hurdles and get there, and then the people you need to talk to or get in this program, they don't want to let you in it because it's your skin color. So, now I got to find another way in. You get what I'm saying? Like,
in your opinion, do you think? Well, I've got two questions, and then I'll leave it with you because notice 913's back here. He'll be back up. I'd like to hear from him too at some stage, but. In your opinion, do you think that the biggest challenge in overcoming some of this is opportunity and lack of equal opportunity?
No.
And do you believe if I remember some comments you made about 10, 15 minutes ago about that you're a realist and you think that there's always going to be people, cultures, there's always going to be differences somewhere, and I agree. We hear a lot of things that are described as ideologies, right? Whether it's terrorism, whether it's religion, whether it's culture, what have you, that gets classed as an ideology that's sort of frowned upon. Do you class racism as just another form of ideology at its core?
No, I might agree with you. It might not. It's more of it's a tool. It's a tool. And I'll tell you how. But I want to say this first. You said equal opportunity. You said, is it a lack of opportunity? Yes. Is it think about equal opportunity? No. There's no such thing as equality. You get what I'm saying? Well, I'm not asking for that. That being equal be me and you could walk up shoulder to shoulder and we both gonna get the same opportunity. No. Opportunity. Just give me my shot. You get what I'm saying? Give me a chance. If I don't fit the criteria, I don't fit the criteria. You get what I'm saying? But at least allow me to earn my opportunity. You understand what I'm saying? Don't shut the front door on me. Now,
this is a good time to do it. Equality, by definition, the state of being equal, especially in status, rights, or opportunities.
Right.
So you can have equal opportunity, but don't mistake that for equal outcome.
Right. There you go. There we go. Yeah,
so keep going. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you good. But for as racism is more of a tool now, whereas like it's they don't want it to be gone because they know black folks hold near and dear to it for as being called nigger and every, it's like you're not looking for it. It's almost like you expecting it. And it's only because, like, dude, Black History Month, they want to let all the slavery movies out. It's like it's a constant reminder somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, why? How do you move past something if they're constantly putting it in the forefront? You know what I mean?
Is it
And like I said, it's not a lot of strong-minded people out here that could just turn, they could say fuck that shit and keep moving. You get what I mean?
Is it a misplaced political agenda? Because I
Oh,
could easily
hell
look
yeah.
at what I hear, see, and read over in American politics, and it would be really easy to make the mistake, if it's not real, that it's a way in which political parties target parts of the population to get
Mm-hmm.
support
Mm-hmm.
or votes. So
Yeah.
instead of how would I give that some, instead of trying to convince Americans, in inverted comments, so every voting resident there, to support them, they're doing the maths and saying, well, if I target that state, that culture, that ethnicity, it's going to equate to X amount of votes. So
Mm-hmm.
is it kept alive by consequence or default because of political agenda, racism? I mean,
Yeah. It's definitely being used as a tool, like I said.
well, that
Uh,
sucks. That
uh,
makes
uh,
it
uh,
hard for any country to move on if the
yeah. They don't,
politicians are
it's not
creating
like
division.
they don't want, let me tell you, for instance, like I brought up Nick Cannon, right? Nick Cannon was doing a podcast. I think it was Professor Griff. I can't remember who he had on there. And he was talking about how Jews own everything, right? And it was a real conversation where it's like, and it was a bunch of stuff I already knew where, like, the Jews and the mob and things, so on and so on, right? Well, the Jews would buy up all the things nobody cared about because they had a vision that one day this would be worth something, like the radio, for instance. You get what I'm saying? Radio stations and things like that over here, and the banking system and all of that. So they're in the background of everything that's basically moving, right? And he was saying that it's kind of unfair because you don't have a fair shake of being able to get into it or whatever the case may be. And McGriff, I can't remember who he's talking to, but the guy that Nick Cannon was talking to, he had a real problem with it. And Nick Cannon was like how you're talking to me, like trying to keep it in order. And he was like, oh, okay, I can agree with some of that. This and the third. They took that man's show, Nick Cannon's show. They took his endorsements, and he didn't do nothing wrong. It was the other guy saying it, right? And they did him wrong. Same thing with Kyrie Irving. He said, check out this book. That's all he said. He tweeted it. I mean, video. And he tweeted it. They called him anti-Semite, everything under the sun. But I can tell you countless times where white people on TV and said nigger or whatever the case may be, and nothing happens. They'll say, well, he had a mishap. How is that a mishap when it should never came out of his mouth? You see in other instances here in the States where, for instance, when Ferguson was protesting, right? They called them immigrants. They called them everything under the sun, including Trump. And it was a peaceful protest until that night, until they was provoked and they went at it or whatever. When you have Duke won the championship, and that's a college here, Duke, and the kids after the game flipped police cars over, tore the street up. Mind you, these are all white kids, and they said these are just silly teenagers having fun. How is that? And so they throw it in your face. Now, just to put the nail on the coffin for you, DJ, it's political season again, right?
Yeah,
President's trying to run, and everything's segregated now. For instance, they're talking about who's going to go to the church, right? And preach at the church. I mean, talk to the people at the church to get them to vote, right? Immediately they said, after they say church, then they say who's going to go to the black church. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so honestly, they're the only ones that can lead the country into a positive direction with at
Exactly.
least not eliminating it, but I suppose discouraging um, separation of cultures and religions and those sorts of things. Look, it's it's worldwide. I hear things and read things. You were talking about Jews, and obviously
Mm-hmm.
most people. Well, I'm assuming the younger generations are still taught about a little bit what Hitler did to the Jews and those
Right.
sorts of things.
Right.
But then there's facts on the table that says that the American government went and bought all of the Nazis' top scientists to bring them over
Mm-hmm.
here as part of their nuclear design and testing and bits and pieces. So
Oh yeah.
it,
You
it
ever
can
heard
be
of?
it's there's what would I call it? There's so many cases where credibility's lost, even with democracy, because I wonder how our democracies, yours is 100 years older than mine,
Mm-hmm.
um, has any standing to go across to cultures that are thousands of years old, right? Some of those
Mm-hmm.
cultures and religions over there, be it the Arab cultures or some of the European cultures, they've got 1,000 years on us by way of society, right?
Right.
How do we then turn up as a first or second year apprentice equivalent and say you're doing it wrong? You should do it our way. And look at our democracies; they're full of bloody corruption and division and all sorts of bits and pieces. But just coming back to something more relevant to your channel, um, is there separation and or racism in boxing? Because I hear things
Yeah.
along the
Yeah.
way that talk about make reference to um, and this isn't derogatory, black slick fighters,
Yeah.
that we don't know how good they are until they come up against a black slick fighter. Now
Right.
when I hear things like that, I just go, well, okay, aside from the color thing, it's well known that from an athletic point of view and twitch fibers and strength and those sorts of things, that the genetics of some of these people far exceed, say, I don't know, a white Australian, for example. They're
Uh huh.
just bigger, faster, stronger, right?
Uh huh.
Is that the context in which um, knowledgeable boxers, trainers, and followers look at it and say, look, okay, we don't know whether you've got skill until we put you in there with someone that has proper skill? Is that more about the black slick context, or is it only about perception or race when I hear things like that?
It's for the black slick fighter thing, man. It's partially true. It's like makes a where the black slick fighter come from, and that type of fighter usually fight knows how to use his emotion. He don't like to get hit, so he gonna have better twitch muscles than everybody. You see what I'm saying? His emotions is what pushes him. It's not who's in front of him. You see what I'm saying? That's why people like Forrest Shakur. I think he's one of the best boxers out there. He's mastered the game of how to swim, as we say, how to swim and not get wet, hit and not get hit. He knows the art of boxing. You get what I'm saying? But it's based off the emotion of he don't like getting hit himself. So that's when you hear Canelo's trainer, I forgot his name, say when they asked him will Canelo fight another black boxer, he said African American boxers are hard to beat. You see what I'm saying? Because you got to catch him. It's not going to be an easy feat. He's not going to stand there and fight you. He's not going to do that. Now, where the racism part come in, it goes all the way down to Olympics where you watch Mayweather, it happened to Shakur, it happened to Roy Jones, where you knew they win and it was like, fuck no, you're not going to win. And they just
Is
gave the
that
medal to somebody else.
is that politics or is that
That's
racial
politics.
discrimination?
That's the same thing. That's what we call it. When you say politics, it's the same thing. They'll say it's politics. It's politics is in the third. But see, the reason why I don't really trip off of it, because at the end of the day, you in that ring to do a job. You either got to put an onslaught on or knock his ass out. Like you got to
Period.
know what you up against. You get what I'm saying?
You suck humble pie anyway. You made to eat humble pie because those people that wanted to keep Mayweather down at the Olympics, he's entitled to give all of them the middle finger and say
Yeah, exactly,
how much money you got in the bank compared to
exactly.
mine.
And
So
he
keep
made
me
him
down
look.
all you want. I'm still successful.
Yeah.
I'm going to let 913 get get a word in edgewise for a bit. I'm just going to
Well, I'm kind
sit
of
here and
coming in at the tail end, but it's something I'd like to add to that too. The African American athlete is different from like all the other. I hope you guys. I'm at work. I'm working right now, so do you guys hear the fans in the background?
No, no,
no,
no.
Okay, okay,
no, I can hear.
okay. Um, but the African American athlete has been different from every athlete in the world is because for 400 years we was in slavery and we was kind of bred the toughest, the strongest, and it's fucked up. It's really fucked up, man, because just like you breed pit bulls, you
Well, that's
breed a
what
dog for certain things, certain characteristics. Guys,
Mandingo.
yeah, you know, the
Well,
most
they
athletic.
call them Mandingo warriors.
Yep, yep. It was a movie about that too back in the day
Yeah,
too.
they used to. The slave owners would notice that black people, the Africans, will have good genetics,
Yep.
and so like there's
Ironically,
some will
ironically,
be born
speaking of
with
boxing,
muscles, and they will make them
ironically
fight
speaking
each
of
other.
boxing, Ken Norton played in that too.
Oh yeah, I never saw it.
Yeah, the boxer Ken Norton. Yep.
Yeah. So you would
Yeah.
have one slave owner would take his biggest slave, strongest slave, and make him fight another slave owner's biggest, baddest slave, and they would bet money on it.
Yep. And we was kind of bred for this, and it's fucked up to kind of put it in those terms because I mean, no human should be bred, like a animal or something like that. But unfortunately, that's why the African American athlete is the most sought after, and it's screwed up situation to be in. But yeah, man.
But to be
Oh,
fair, each race in boxing has their own characteristics
Mm-hmm.
that they do contribute to boxing. Just to be
Mm-hmm.
fair, black fighters tend to be more slick. Mexicans got hard ass heads, bro. I don't care what nobody say. They some tough some bitches.
And white fighters are known to be physically strong.
Physically strong, right? White
so
fighters
I
physically strong. Russians is just tough. Like Kakistan and all of them, they hit hard and they tough as nails. So everybody has their characteristics.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree, and I'm not discrediting what you're saying, 913. That could be or is genuine. It's a little bit of a shame if that's actually how it's happened. But when I look at different athletes around the world, like if you have a look at some of the Kenyans, for example, like they're just renowned long distance runners. They're just
Mm-hmm.
renowned for it, right?
Mm,
Here in our like rugby league's big here in Australia. You get some of the island nations or the indigenous culture from the island nations like Samoan, Fiji, Maori. They're built different. They're bigger, faster,
Mm-hmm.
harder, right, than the equivalent of the European or the white Australian, for example. They may have equal toughness, but by way of just power and twitch fibers, those cultures are not dissimilar to the African American, where they've just got genetics that give them examples. But then I can't remember a African American um, Olympic swimmer. I'm sure it's
Exactly.
existed,
right, right.
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
no, there's definitely advantages physically that some of those cultures have got over others.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I
Everything
said.
has a side effect to it. I
Yeah,
mean, you breed for this, like, and I hate to use these terms with human beings, but if I'm breeding for like a good hunting dog or whatever, I want him to be alert and be able to bark. If I want a good bird dog, I want him to be quiet and point once you see
right.
the bird, because I don't want you to bark. But it's whatever you're bred for years and years of evolution. People in certain areas are bred for it. That's what you turn out.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I mean?
not to get off there, but you know, you can add that to your genetics, man. Like you can genetics is a motherfucker, bro. Like, you know, I know two guys, bro, and I love them to death. Ain't touched a weight in their life. But because of their daddy and them and all them, that's all they did was lift weights. These dudes got muscles out of
For no
nowhere
reason. For
for
no
no
reason.
reason. Got developed
Yep.
chest and everything. They don't lift weights at all. You know, you can put things in your genetics and it'll
Yep.
pass down. Sometimes it'll skip a generation and pop up the next one. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
you could do that, and genetics is just a beautiful thing like that. But I want to get back. I gotta ask you something because something just popped in my mind, bro. And this happened a while ago. This happened after the Cambosis fight. Sometime Cambosis' wife took a picture, and I'm asking this because I don't know. I want to know if this is like just a slang term over there or whatnot. And she was in the sun, and she said, "I'm in the sun getting all nigger." Is that a legit term over there, or because she got they? And I didn't touch it because I was like, I don't know if that's a whole nother country. I don't know what the fuck goes on. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So,
So, nigger with an ER or an A, let's it has the same or similar connotations to Indigenous or Aboriginals over here.
That's what they call
Um,
the Aboriginals there too.
um, Look, I'm not. Whilst I was growing up, that they were, I suppose, identified as Aboriginals. In this day and age, I believe the preference and the less derogatory, potential derogatory term is Indigenous. They're Indigenous to Indigenous culture of Australia. They were here first. Um,
mhm.
so it wouldn't be something, and I don't know what context that she's used it in. I'm assuming she's just saying that she's out in the sun trying to get a tan,
That's what,
right?
yeah, and that's what I was saying. But like I said, but I was like, why use that word? But it's a whole nother country, and you know what I'm saying. I've talked to people in London. They say some wild shit, bro. I had a dude, and when I was in
It,
California, and I was in this program called the California Conservation Corps, and this dude from London, he asked me, did I have a fag? And I looked at him like, who the fuck you talking to? But a fag was a cigarette.
Ah,
yeah, it
You
was.
see
And
what
guess
I'm
what?
saying?
They
So
used to
that's why
sell
I
them.
did. That's why I didn't jump on it because I didn't know. You understand what I'm saying? I had put that
Yeah,
together because she said it that way, but I was like, I don't know though. Maybe that's a regular thing, and don't nobody trip off that over there. You get what I'm saying?
no, there'd definitely be, it'd be reasonable to expect that there'd be parts of the community that wouldn't have liked that term. If that sort of just, some people would have taken it for what it is. So, well, you probably could have used better language or a different term while you're trying to get a tan. But there
Yeah,
definitely would have been parts of the community of whatever ethnicity that wouldn't have really appreciated that sort of description.
yeah. Because Cambosis replied under there. Everybody was going at her for it, and he was like, "I want y'all to know that my wife is African." And I was like, I still don't understand, but I ain't gonna touch it, bro. Like, I was like, I'm not gonna
yeah,
touch it, bro.
yeah.
That was
Sometimes,
weird. That was weird. And that time, like I say, I didn't know nobody from Australia to, you know what I'm saying? So I just let it be. But, you know, but like I said, I just know
I actually got a
people in different
cousin that
countries do
lives in
things.
Melbourne right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talk to him once in a blue moon. But yeah, he stays out there.
Yeah, man. So, like I said, that dude from London had tripped me out, man.
Well, if you can get over your spider thing slick, you could always get on a plane and get over it.
Man, I just watched a video where y'all got snakes that come out y'all toilet. That made it
Oh,
Oh,
even
really?
worse.
go on, stop it.
I swear it did.
Everyone posts the weirdest or the most extreme things. That's not a real life thing. Ask 27 million people how many times they've had a snake come out of their toilet. Maybe three.
Hey,
Three
D,
of them
Three.
you
might
ever,
say it's
have you
happened.
ever been over here to the States?
I have not. I've spent some time with some of your American military.
Hmm.
I
Oh,
used to
okay.
be in the military over here, so I've spent some time with your Navy, your Marines, and in different joint exercises, some of your army. So, you're not spending enough time together to, you know, teach each other the whole history of each other's country, but it's normally the same interactions. They're asking about snakes and spiders and sharks and crocodiles. I'm
Oh, for
asking
real?
about bears and mountain lions and all that other stuff you've got over there that can equally fuck you up. So,
Right. Right. Man, I be seeing the videos, man, and it was a person, people out there camping, and they woke up and one of them big ass spiders was on their damn tent,
Ooh, damn.
and
I
that's
like
the
it.
shit.
I like how you just assume, Slick, that you're somehow appetizing and tasty enough for them to have a chew on you.
Bro. You see how
You
big
know,
that fucking
they
spider is?
come on, mate. They
They
only
they're big as a dinner plate, bro.
no, they're not.
That's a big fucking
Well,
spider.
hardly ever. You're not going to go places like into the rainforest where you're going to come across spiders that big. It's just not going
I
to
love to
happen.
go there and try the food, man. I seen
Yeah,
on one
I'm
thing
gonna go. I'm gonna go though, for real.
where they was eating
Food.
kangaroo
It's
meat.
on my list.
Is kangaroo meat like a staple or something, or is it like a taboo thing?
It's really neither. So let me. What doesn't look good is the emu and the kangaroo are our national emblem, right?
Right.
Hmm.
Um, so it never looks good that we eat our national emblem. Um, Years and years ago, Australia doesn't have a good record. We've probably got one of the worst for looking after our native animals. And when over the years during early colonisation, we've always had a really strong and good lamb and sheep and wool culture, right? So the dingoes used to kill a lot of sheep and lambs. So they put up fences and they went on almost a full eradication of the natural dingoes. When they did that, what that actually meant is they removed the only natural predator for kangaroos. One thing about kangaroos is they can actually hold up to two unborn fetus at any given time. And there's something about their spidey senses or their I don't know intuition
Intuition.
Hmm.
that they can feel or see a good season coming by way of rain and food and those sorts of things, so they can populate really quickly. One of the things about kangaroo meat is it's quite lean. There's no fat in it. Like any other meat, it can be a little bit rich or different for some people, but it's not a food that's processed straight out of the bush. The
Mm.
kangaroos that they're farmed, so they get needles and inoculations against, I don't know, diseases and worms and those sorts of things, and they're processed through abattoirs and stamped as suitable for human consumption.
So
So
you can go to the
yes, you
grocery
can
store and
eat
buy
it.
it.
Yeah, you can buy it from the supermarket, but I'd have to say that it's not as popular as you think. Yes, you can get it anywhere you go reasonably, in supermarkets and those sorts of things, but I would still say that there's a small percentage comparatively that eats it regularly, if at all.
Catch.
But 913, our menus are going to be no different to yours. To be
Hmm.
fair, everything that you can get over in the States, you can probably get in Australia.
But if
Um,
you go to a whole nother country, you kind of seeking something kind of taboo. Like, okay, what kind of food do they eat? Like in some places here, like in the country, that'll eat raccoons, squirrels,
Right.
stuff like that.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
that's not something you don't get everywhere in
we're
America.
Now,
not eating any of that. We do eat some strange looking
they'll even eat
seafood.
possums in some places.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you wouldn't be eating them in New Zealand because they've been deemed as invasive species. So you go to New Zealand, don't get caught eating them, just get caught bloody eradicating them. But you're right, everywhere's different. You know, the French eat frogs and snails.
Yeah.
Like, what idiot come up with that idea? I'm that
Right.
hungry. Like, you got
But
to
I
be
wonder
hungry
how
to
the
start
kangaroo
considering
eat.
eating snails.
Yeah, I ain't messing with no snail, bro.
Have you ever had kangaroo? Do you know how it tastes?
Yes, yeah, I've had it. Um,
What kind of meat is it kind of comparable to? Because when I seen it,
some,
it was like a red meat.
yeah. Um, it's yes, it's a red meat. It's more a pinky meat than a dark, rich um, New York cut or T-bone or something that you would get off a cow. But I would liken it as close to some of the um, deer. I don't know if you've ever tasted any forms of deer over there.
Oh yeah,
Um, you know how it can be. You would never eat a big slab of it like you would with beef because it's just too rich. So, you know, you would have smaller portions of it. Otherwise, you would just get sick of it. But like anything, um, it could be marinated and cooked so many different ways that, depending on your personal choice, you might prefer it one way or the other. Look, it's fine. There's plenty of other foods that um, I would eat before it.
yeah. Only thing
Um,
I've ever had in my life is lamb, beef, chicken, and fish.
you would have had some pork. You would have had
No,
bacon
I,
or,
I, I didn't grow up on pork. My family are Muslims.
right.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people here that just don't eat pork, bro. For real.
Yeah, right. So lamb and beef is big over here. That's a staple because that's just part of our two strongest primary industries, lamb
Yeah,
and beef. Um,
yeah. Beef.
chicken, but I
Uh,
mean
I like to walk
along the
past my house
coast,
like a pig in order for me not to eat it. I see a cow,
se-
moo, pow, got it.
s- seafood's pretty big over here. That's pretty regular.
Yeah,
Yeah.
From because what you call shrimps, we call prawns. Um, and
Damn, word.
yep.
we've got a, we've got a lot of local good fish industries,
Well, hold on.
from
You heard that
lobster,
913?
crab.
Yep.
So he don't know what shrimp is.
Who?
He said
Hey,
they call them prawns. So all y'all shrimp big, huh? See,
Prawn.
when you get a prawn,
So,
that's a big ass fucking
that's the
shrimp.
gumbo. Hey,
That's a big
hey,
ass fucking shrimp.
and
That's expensive here to get
a
all
little African
prawns.
American, a little African American slang. When they get jumbo like that, they turn into scrimp. Them
Yeah,
scrump.
scrimp.
Yeah,
They're right.
scrump. Nigga,
He
them
said y'all
scrump.
got shrimp. We call them
so look,
prawns. No, shrimp is little. We get shrimp is tiny. When you get a prawns, them big motherfucker. No,
That's scrump.
that's expensive here, bro.
Yeah.
so that's what I mean. Like,
Well, it's
it's
expensive
it,
in the Midwest, but then as you go to the coast, they kind of like cheaper.
Yeah, like Maryland and all that stuff.
oh
Shit in
well,
California is they cheaper too though. You can go to oh my god, bro. You ever get a chance, bro? Go to the San Pedro Fish Market. Oh
Mm.
my god. That's kind of like making me homesick right now. Cause you can get a big old I'm gonna send it to you too. I'm gonna send you some videos on that. I hit your line, bro. But you can get like these big ass fish trays and shit. Fire.
Okay.
yeah,
Fire.
that's a staple over here. You got to remember that 90% of Australia's population lives on the coast somewhere,
Got you.
Ah,
because the interior of Australia is just desert. There's nothing out there. There's no water. It's desert. It's hot as hell. And it's just there's no resources out there to support towns and those sorts of things. Yes, there's people that live out there, farmers and those sorts of things, but they're the minority. So, you know, from banana prawns to, I mean, we've got three, four, five different prawns, and they're reasonably priced because um, they're available to us. They
Right.
grow and spawn and populate naturally around in the oceans around Australia.
Hmm.
There's probably a heap of weird things that we eat that you guys might think, but um, a possum and squirrels definitely not. Well, we don't have squirrels, but we don't eat any of those sorts of things. The indigenous eat some different types of lizards and snakes and turtles and those sorts of things, but they're the only ones that are allowed to eat it because there are protected species in Australia. Um, a lot of our um, a lot of our animals are protected from being killed or hunted, and the only ones that are allowed to kill and hunt them for consumption are the Aboriginals or the Indigenous
So
because it's their
they
natural food.
right. So the Aborigines they get to keep living the way that they live traditionally.
Yeah, so if I wanted to go fishing um, in salt or fresh water, you got to buy a license, right?
Right.
Um, Indigenous don't. That's their way of life.
Okay.
You know, so the government, the country recognises, say, well, we're not going to. First of all, after we invaded your country and took it off you, if that's the way you want to do it, the last thing we're going to do is tell you what you can't eat, what you can and can't eat.
That's
Some
sort of
of
how
it's
they do
very
some Native Americans too here.
Yeah,
That's
they
how
like they federal property, bro.
they. But then they have them off in like reservations and stuff like that.
Yeah, where's that like literally like they own laws and stuff, and the feds gotta come get them. Well, I was part of a situation in California when that happened, bro. This dude, he murdered the dude, and the police got him, but they couldn't transport him. Fed got him. Well, they did turn. They took him to the school. They took him to San G in San Bernardino, and then the
Mm-hmm.
feds came and got him from San G.
Hey,
Yeah, that shit was crazy. I was like, that's when I learned. I was like, what the hell? They was
that's
just
the
like, yeah,
native.
no, they federal property. Yeah, he live on a reservation. I was ignorant to the fact that I didn't know nothing about that. But nah, nonetheless though, man, no, it's eye opener, man. But like how we having this conversation about different parts of the land, that's something like I say, not to get back on Ryan, just people in general need to get up and get out. You know what I'm saying? Learn different things and you have a different outlook and be able to make your own judgment just thinking that because where you at is what it's about. You know what I mean?
look, some of it's just interesting. It doesn't need to be about giving yourself a new reference on your life, whether it's good, bad, or otherwise.
Right.
Sometimes it's just interesting and an eye opener.
Yeah.
What other people on the other side of the world do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I want to go to London. I want to go to Australia. I got a list of places. I want to go to Macau, China. I want to go like that was like the
China,
bug that bit me, bro. Yeah,
you want,
Macau, China.
oh,
Yeah, I want to go to Macau.
is it safe for Westerners over in China? I kind of
Well,
feel
that
like
party is it's
if you
like
just
Las
look the
Vegas.
wrong way, you're going to end up in jail over there.
It's like Las Vegas. Macau, China is like Vegas. So
I'm
that's why I
sure
said
there's
Macau, China.
a heap of great things to see over there. I just always sort of half conspiracy theory or half paranoid that if you go to some of those places that have what seems to have a proper hate for Western societies, particularly Western men, um, I'd rather just remove any chance that I farted on the wrong street corner and ended up in jail. Like I
That's true. Hey, I went to Tijuana. I learned my lesson. I ain't go to jail when my boy told me don't get no little kid no quarter. I was like, yeah, bro. So I'll definitely take heed to that. I went to Tijuana, and my friend said, don't get no little kid no money. I get a little cute little girl some money. She came back with about 30 of her friends. I said, God damn. Yeah.
well, in Singapore, for example, um, what we would call chivalry in Western society, like if a lady is a female is struggling carrying something, or she trips over and you put your hand out to catch her from falling over or something like that,
Uh-huh.
you can't touch females in Singapore. Period. for any
Hmm.
good reason other than them being your wife. You just that's it.
What?
Yep.
You're in jail. You're
Yep.
in jail. Doesn't matter if you're trying to do the right thing. You're trying to rescue them. You're trying to help them. What have you? Just don't do it, man. These are the
He
That's
said,
things
just
that you
don't
got.
do it.
that's common in a lot of cultures. You got to remember, I grew up as going to the masjid as a Muslim.
Yeah.
So yeah, the old Pakistani lady. If you're a hugger and you're a man, don't hug the women. That's really
I knew that about like Pakistan, over there, but like I didn't know Singapore and things like that though.
it's a lot of
Well,
cultures that.
you got to do your homework, man. You
Yeah.
don't want to be just strolling into another culture and country thinking that what you
Right.
find normal and natural is normal and natural to them. There'll be rules for sure, and they're Singapore for that reason. We stayed in Singapore for I think about 4 days, 3 nights, 4 days, and I didn't touch a single beer or alcoholic drink the whole time I was over there, because of some of those things. Like say you'd had half a dozen beers, right,
Right.
and you get relaxed and what have you, and then you go to put your hand out because some
It-
lady's about to trip over or fall.
And then you go
You
into
know,
jail.
I just wanted to be fully alert and aware, not to get myself into trouble. I still enjoyed it. It's the cleanest place on earth I've ever been to. You get thrown in jail for littering over there. Don't throw
Damn.
your cigarette butt on the ground. You're gone.
Damn.
Mhm.
That's explain why I used to have a boss. His name was Tam. He field stripped every cigarette and put it in his pocket.
Mm.
He used to field strip the cigarette, knock the cherry out, tear it, and then put it in his pocket, bro. He would never
I'm
throw it
gonna
on the ground.
I'm gonna need
Mm.
to just drop down for a bit here. What I'm gonna do is break down film reviews looking for a new favourite fighter.
Yeah, that's you're right.
Who's
That's
it
what he
gonna
said.
be? There's a lot to choose from.
Hey,
Man,
did you
look.
check out Abdullah Mason?
Oh yeah, Abdullah. Oh,
Yeah,
oh, you talking about DJ?
yeah.
Yeah,
Did you
he
check
fight
him out yet?
tomorrow. He fight tomorrow,
No,
DJ. He
no.
fight tomorrow.
There you go. That'll be my introduction. And Tiger Johnson was the other one
Yeah,
that you asked me to
yeah,
have a look at.
yeah. He
Yeah,
fight
that's
tomorrow
my
too.
bad. I'd completely forgotten about doing that research. Thanks for
Yeah,
reminding me, boys. Put a
yeah.
big F. I failed on my report
No,
card. Big
we
F.
don't, we don't, we don't, we don't lose over here. Just a lesson. You learn. That's it. We don't lose.
Yeah, hey man,
You
it
learn
happened.
from that shit. You're right.
Give me a moment.
Yeah, yeah. Got you. Breakdown film reviews. Don't make him not your favorite fighter no more. Just make him your favorite fighter to be beat next.
Hmm.
That's how you look at it. I don't want him to lead the sport. He can stay in the sport. I'm just gonna hope he get whooped on every time.
Real
I'm
shit.
down. I'm for real, bro. Because
He a
like I
piece
said,
of shit, bro. He's a piece of shit. You
yeah,
know.
that
So
shit wasn't right, bro. When he doubled down on it, that did it for me. It was one thing he sounded drunk, like I said. When he bust out, oh, let me get this nigga or nigger, you ain't gonna do nothing. Now when he did that, I said, oh, boy,
but
you
you know
just
what? If it's something that comes up next week, my theory will hold true. It will be something every week between one of the two of them. They'll do something just outrageous, and
yeah.
you'll be like, "Damn, why don't they fight already?"
Yeah, he's still on Twitter, bro. This dude's still on Twitter talking
Yeah,
shit, bro.
they need to take his phone and be like, "Bro, just calm the fuck down." Mental illness is a real thing, though. So I hope he just need to give him some help.
I've been
You know what I
said
mean?
that, bro. I said I thought maybe he bipolar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He may need to take some medicine, or maybe he's schizo. Ain't
yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
something's going on,
Just you just
or
take your medicine.
maybe it's just drugs, flat out.
Yeah,
Maybe
or just drugs,
self
right?
medicating and taking the wrong shit, like
Right.
cocaine. Nigga.
Yeah, but you pushed the limit. If you thought this was a good idea, you lost your mind, bro. He on here um on Twitter right now going at it with Dean the Great.
Come on,
Yeah, bro. Like I said, you ain't need to take his phone. He
bro.
don't need to be.
We got a lot more shit to worry about than his ignorant ass in this country. We got a liar and a motherfucking senile old man, nigga, running for president. Cut off my left leg or cut off my right. You
Man,
feel me?
look. Man, look, it's the same
You
thing for
feel
the
me?
last three terms, bro. Pick your poison. That's all it's gonna boil down to, bro.
And I usually, you know what I'm saying, try to get out and do a little voting, man. But shit, this time, man, I'm gonna sit this shit out.
Bro, it's like at the end of the day, as long as they keep motherfuckers choosing sides and all that shit, ain't nobody gonna really watch. I mean, ain't nobody really gonna pay attention to what needs to be had or needs to be done. That's how I look at it, straight up.
But we have another option. I don't know if the option is cool because I've been kind of disconnecting myself from this whole election thing. I'm kind of convinced that this is some bullshit right now.
Uh,
But yeah, we got West, Cornell West. The
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I
he
know. My bad feedback, but
yeah,
yeah, no, no, most definitely. That's why I tell people, man, like you got independent. You know what I'm saying? I'm
yeah.
independent, bro. I'm not. I'm not with the Republican or Democrat. I'm not
Nah,
with all that
me
shit,
neither.
bro.
Me neither,
I'm
bro.
independent, bro. I don't believe in that, and I think that's the direction that everybody go to. Why y'all want to pick sides and because to be honest with you, I be agree with it sometimes with some of the shit both sides be saying.
Yeah.
You know what
You
I'm
know,
saying?
I'm
I'm like,
I'm conservative on some issues and I'm liberal on others. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
you know what I
Yes,
mean?
like the conservative way, yes, I want my guns. You know,
Yeah.
just it is what it
I,
is.
even with the conservative way of what they say, pull your pull yourself up by your bootstraps and all that shit. I believe that too. But on the liberal side, I'm like, but at least give them the opportunity
Yep.
to be able to do so. You understand what I'm saying? Like if I give you the tools and you don't grab them, that's on you, pimp. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That's on you. That's like me saying I know how to change brakes nine, and you say, "Slick, can you change the brakes?" I say, "Nope, I can show you." And you say, "Oh, fuck that." I'll be like, "I even give
Man,
you the tools, bro, in the video to teach you."
that
Oh, fuck that. Then that's on you then at that point. You know what I'm saying?
because
But
I
I
know
know,
that trickle down economics on the Republican side, I'm just not feeling that. It never works. It's
yeah,
always a motherfucker that run off with the plug, bro.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? These companies always run off tax cuts to the rich and it'll trickle down. That ain't cool for me because they always run off at the plug. You remember the George W. Bush era
yeah,
where the oil companies was making record profits and shit, and they was bailing out the automotive industry and all this other shit. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Shit,
When again, they could have been giving us stimulus packages then. Shit.
yeah, but fuck that stimulus shit, cause shit, it costs you in the end too with your taxes.
Yeah.
If you was you had some people had to pay that shit back, and I was one of them.
Mm.
Told me I made too much money that year. So guess what happened? They took it back. So
Mm.
I mean, it was a catch to it all. You know what I'm saying? But like, shit, you had Obama do the same thing, bail out the auto industry. See what I'm saying? Like, it
Mm-hmm.
be more to it, bro. They tell us what they want to tell us, and if you got to understand that, yeah, if we do this and this to help us get to electric cars, gas free cars by 2025. Well, guess what? It's about to be 2025 next year.
I heard that the electric cars ain't all what it's cracked up to be because you
They're
charge them
not.
overnight and you only got like a couple of miles that you can
Yeah,
even ride
man,
them.
it's like 200 to 250 on some of them things,
Yeah,
man.
bro.
They good city cars. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, like I said, if I had no money, I go get me a little Tesla. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ride the city. You know what I mean? That's cool. It'll definitely save you money on gas. But at the end of the day, if I need to travel, man, I'm not finna be looking on a map to try to charge my damn car. I'm getting my
Man,
gas car,
let me
and I'm
go and
gone.
get this Nissan Altima and
Yeah,
get
you know what
down
I
this
mean?
road. You know what I'm saying?
Promise you, bro. Like, nah. But
Quick
like I
40
say,
plus fill up and let me get it.
I tell everybody, man, you know, go with your interest, bro. That's how you supposed to
Yeah.
vote. Go with your interest, bro. Don't listen because my family is Republican, my family Democrat. Man, that shit don't matter to me, bro. I promise you. How they go tell you they want great minds out here to think when you thinking like a hive mind. A hive mind ain't a great thinker because that means everybody in agreement. Ain't nobody going against each other, and that means generally one person is thinking for everybody because
Hmm.
you just going off of what that person's saying. I'm not doing that. You got to show me more than that.
I
You know what I'm
think
saying?
there's a lot of things in this country, right, where they actually just want to keep the American people dumbed down like little drones, like little worker bees and shit.
Yeah,
and they
Yeah.
not doing anything that they used to do in the past. Like even the schooling, man, we used to have shit that stimulated thought.
Right.
We can tell. We talk boxing with people all day, every day in and day out, bro. And think about it.
Right.
A lot of this shit comes from younger guys that can't really. Their thought process is fucked up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I just think that the schooling now, man, ain't what we had back in the day, where a lot of people don't have critical thinking skills. And I think that's
Facts.
by design with the way this government is ran.
Yeah.
So they can
Yeah.
piss down your back and tell you it's raining, bro.
Yeah. Just think about it. It's crazy. I forgot my guy at my job. I just told him, I said, man, majority of billionaires didn't even make it. They dropped out of high school. I said, and then the other half dropped out of college. You see what I'm saying? They sat there and took a chance on themselves and said, why the fuck I'm gonna pay this motherfucker all this money, end up owing them when I can do X, Y, Z. I don't have to go to college to patent something. I don't have to go to college to find investors. I don't have to, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But like, instead of spreading that around, they say go to school. And like I say, if you look how school's set up, school is set up just like a job.
Mm-hmm.
You're bred to work. You
Do
see what I'm
you
saying?
do you got college education?
I went to Mount San Jacinto, nigga, in Moreno Valley, California, for 2 years.
All right, now let me tell you something. And this some real gangster ass shit. And fuck
Mm.
y'all, anybody in the chat that bring this up, nigga. I got a GED.
Ain't
That's
shit
all.
wrong with that.
But guess what though, man? I'm in a real decent situation in my life, nigga. So fuck you.
Right. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you just got to take a chance on yourself. You got to go in on it. You got to believe in yourself, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I tell you boxing my shit, man, reading all them books, man, like I said, bro, man, Mike Tyson said it best. Man, discipline is doing what you hate like you love it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way you're going to get somewhere. Because to get where you want to be, it's going to be a bunch of shit you don't want to do.
Yep.
But guess what?
You get it, you gotta hold on to it. 1, 2, 3, no take backs.
Exactly. I love that shit. You know what I'm saying? And like what my boy Ali said, we don't start counting until it hurt. Oh, boy said, what? Yeah, bro, we don't start counting until it hurt. What you
Mm-hmm.
counting for? And that's how I feel like when you start making your money. Oh, man, we in the millions. I don't give a fuck.
Yep.
We ain't at $1 billion yet. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's how my
Man,
mind thinks.
bro, you know how it is, man. When you made your first 100,000, nigga, you was like, damn, I can turn this into 3. You didn't even think
Bruh,
about it.
that's how you got it. That's how you got to hell shit. Goddamn me, when I made my first grand and it hit my hand, I was like, damn, that shit was easy. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, we got to make this, man. We was on here 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to working 8 hours, bro. You know how much I got this for 2 hours? I probably had 4 grand in 8 hours then. You know what I'm saying? Like my mind was moving like that. You know what I mean? So like, I love that shit, man. And that's how people just need to
I
take a
made my
chance on
first
yourself.
grand, bro. I made my first grand, man. It was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Go back to the plug. I want to zip now.
Right. You heard me.
Yeah.
You hear me? That's some real shit. That's some real shit, bro. So, or like if you ain't college, man, I ain't telling nobody to drop out, but if you got a great idea and you believe in yourself, bro, what's the worst, bro? Take a chance on yourself. It don't work out. Guess what you can do? Go right back to school.
Hey,
Fuck
going
it.
back to the Ryan thing, not to cut you off.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel
yeah,
Eddie Hearn when he told him, bro, put up your own money, do your own shit. You got DHP,
yeah,
do your shit.
yeah, yeah. You got
'Cause
to quit.
you remember what I was telling you about a lot of the local fighters, the underground fighters or whatever?
Yeah,
They are going on these shows and getting knocked out in the third or fourth round, coming back to their small little country hick town,
getting
renting out the
paid.
civic arena, the armory, or whatever the fuck they can, and nigga throwing shows and making bank. And when they bring them
Facts.
back on TV to get knocked the fuck out again, because they ain't got that much talent, guess what? You're gonna have to pay this motherfucker top dollar. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, yeah, we gotta fight for you for 50,000. Nah, my nigga, I make 100,000 at home. And I pick my
Uh-huh.
and I pay for the whole card. And I got my promoter's license. Niggas is rolling.
Right, right. Just gotta, man. Let me tell you something, man. You just gotta build. Even if it take a team, man. Like I say, even a dummy know how to hire smart motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That's just it,
They were.
man. And I build network. I build relationships. Like when I told you, I said, man, I get you a logo. I don't give a fuck. Got you that motherfucker, didn't?
Hell yeah.
I know motherfucker get some shit done, like, you know what I mean, and marketing and to show it off before you even got
Oh,
the
bro,
product,
you
all
gonna
that
be
shit.
better. Do you got the thing for the logos again? Can you resend that shit?
Yeah, yeah, I should still have it.
Because I fucked off the other phone that it was on, and I need it on the iPhone. Send it to the iPhone.
Yeah, I should still have it. I should
Yeah.
look. I'm gonna look, but like on everything, like stuff like that, man. Like I said, bro, especially networking. You scratch one back, they scratch yours. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. The most messed up thing where people forgot and somehow people brainwashed. Shit, back then, goddamn me, if you laid concrete, nigga, and I had a grocery store, hey yo, your wife come here every week and get groceries, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, my
Yep.
porch need fixed, bro. I spot you a month worth of groceries. Bet.
Yep.
Scratch my back, I scratch yours. You get what I'm
Yep.
saying? So
Yep.
where's the
Somebody
hurt
found it
in,
now.
in
Now I need
huh?
that back deck. Oh man, my brother, he worked with woods. He do carpentry work. Psh,
You know what
keep
I'm
all the
saying?
money in the circle, bro.
Yeah, bro. What's wrong with that, bro? People act like, oh, no, I had to get out the mud. You gonna have to figure it out. That's hating, bro. I don't give a fuck what
Yeah.
nobody say, bro. That shit not cool, bro. Like, I'd be like, damn. And I done had that happen to me. I don't know how many times. I'd be like, for
Free
real,
game, bro.
bro?
Free game. I was just
Hey,
talking about somebody that what y'all doing? Badass kids, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Be quiet, because grandpa on his shit. Hello? My bad. Oops. Just it is what it is. Hello?
yeah,
Yeah. But you can give a motherfucker game all you want to, but if it don't sound like some shit that they want to do, and you can tell them exactly how to do it. Hey man, walk across the street, knock on that door, ask for a motherfucker named Jack. Well, fuck that, man. The motherfucker, hey man, I had a dude back in high school named Jack, and I don't fuck with nobody named Jack. This goofy shit.
right,
Then
right.
you'll never be able to give a person like that the game.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never be able to give them the game. You'll be
Yeah, that's
talking to the blue in the gill. And I'm the nigga that'll give you the game. I'll tell you
that.
exactly how to do it. Like shit, you too, because you done told me about the floor business, and I done told you about my business.
Yeah, bro. Like shit. Hey, that's the game to build. I'll
Yeah,
just get to your question, DJ. You there, DJ?
Deej, Deej.
He on mute. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I got you. I'm just not interrupting. Keep
Oh,
going.
okay. I got you. Yeah, but no, that's how the game should be, man. That's the point of being, especially now when you can reach out. Like I'm
Yeah,
talking to DJ, he way in fucking Australia, bro.
yeah, that's what life is
You get what
about.
I'm saying? That's how. Like now, it's a lot easier than when we came up. You know what I'm saying? Where I
Shaking
hear a lot of people
baby
complaining today.
working.
You know,
Yeah,
I can't get with people when they complain. They're like, what? Like what? How old are you? Oh man, I'm 22. Man, stop it. I don't want to hear that shit. You know what I'm
so I
saying?
know
Like,
if I ever had to go to Australia, I know I could reach out to DJ and
right,
see what they expect and what not to expect. You know what I mean? Just like
right.
was talking about oh God, was it Singapore?
Yeah,
Wherever
yeah,
Yeah,
where
Singapore.
you wouldn't be
yeah.
reaching out. You'd be, I'd be chauffeuring you around. Where do you want to go? What
And
do you
you would
want
be
to do?
very
What do
drunk.
you want
We
to
probably
eat?
have to if you guys got an Uber, because I'm
Yeah, we
getting
got.
drunk. That is
Oh,
tradition. That's what we do when we link up on this podcast.
Yeah, we gonna
listen,
go. We gonna go have fun, man.
Yeah.
it might be your tradition, but look, I'll be honest with you. If you're going to come to Australia and even attempt to be a part of our culture somehow, in some way, while you're here, it's going to involve beer or it's going to involve something.
On with it.
It's our pastime. But
Okay.
I'd love to get Theo across to
I
Australia
got
as
my
well.
wife packing our luggage right now. Then fuck that. You said if it's liquor, I'm in.
It'll be
and,
interesting.
and big ass shrimp. I'm
Oh
there.
my God. Yeah.
It'll be interesting for you to taste some of the. I mean, other than Heineken, I drank, and I'm just talking about beers that are sold over there in the States. When I was
Budweiser and
over
stuff.
in United Arab Emirates, they had the the time when I was over there, they had the World Rugby Sevens on, the men,
Uh-huh.
and so different countries, and they just turned it into like a big concert in bits and pieces. And what you would do is you'd just buy a bucket of ice with about 6 or 7 Heinekens in them, and just wander around and watch whatever game that you wanted. But I also, a few of your guys gave me, I think it's called Icebox to try. That's a beer, isn't it?
Ice
Icebox,
House?
Ice House.
ice.
Was it Ice House or it was Bud Ice?
No, it was ice. I'm pretty sure it was Ice Box, not Ice House. Ice
I
House
know.
is it's a musical group. Anyway, but we've got a rule over here in Australia that it can't be called a beer if it's got more than 5% alcohol in
Mm.
it. Then anything
That
over and above that, it becomes a spirit, what we call a spirit, or what I think
yeah,
you
you had that was a
guys.
Bud Ice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you had, Bud Ice.
It was more than that. It was Bud Ice.
Hey,
Um,
they try to get
but
you drunk.
the first thing that a lot of people notice the difference when they come over here is our beers. We've got a really big beer culture. And
Oh
when
my
I was
God.
over,
I go to a lot of
it,
breweries too. Do you guys got like a lot of good local stouts? That's my favorite. I'm
oh,
not like a lager kind of guy. I'm a stout guy. I'm a Guinness guy.
913,
Mm,
you could spend all day every day for 6 7 days on a hired bus, so you don't have to drive, right? That will just tour you around wineries and breweries all through what we call the Hunter Valley, and you still wouldn't get through half of them. There's
Damn.
vodka distilleries, there's everything there. Food, pubs, like everything is there.
I like
And
stouts,
I'm
bourbons, and
serious.
whiskey. That's kind of like
You
my
could
thing. I'm kind of like I'm a real kind of
connoisseur,
yeah, yeah,
connoisseur.
Uh-huh.
yeah. I love
So
I
what do you
love bourbons.
bourbons? Is that what
Yep.
you drink, Slick? Bourbons?
I drink everything.
Yeah.
He'll
Okay.
tell you I drink everything. I won't mess with a Guinness though. But for as liquor, I drink everything. I haven't met a liquor I don't like.
Well, see, we
I love
only drink
Guinness. Man.
dark ales, so Guinness and dark beers in cold weather here as a general rule. So when it gets cold, like if you
Because
want to
they
go for a
dense
beer,
and hearty. Yep.
you might have a Guinness or you might have a dark ale type of beer in the hotter months. It's all the lighter coloured beers and whatnot. But look, Australia is the last place you want to come if you're trying to get off the wagon. Like if you're into how do you pronounce it when you go
Yeah,
sober?
I got you.
Sobriety.
Sobriety, right? Don't
Uh,
come to Australia. It's not going to help you. But no, look, I think it's Australia aside. There's good things and bad things about Australia, just like there would be in any other country that you explore. But I think probably you just got to pick the things. Like I know people that go overseas just to look at landmarks.
How are you
I
guys cannabis laws?
sorry,
How are the cannabis laws there?
you can do
Medical,
anything you
legal.
look. Be good or be good at it. That's the law, right? You can do anything you want if you don't get caught.
Is it legal
well,
there
look.
though?
No, look that well in one state it is. Um, they're talking about it, but we have a lot of our bigger industries, so mining industries, power stations, manufacturing, all of those dangerous industries, you would call it, by way of safety. They can't afford to have, and they employ in big numbers. They can't afford to have people under any sort of influence operating big machinery or being around high voltage equipment and those sorts of things. So it's just as much a bit of a a cultural question as it is about how unions, because unions are big in Australia, would manage that with their employment groups and bits and pieces. Because if they if they make it if they make it legal, it's very hard for some companies that need to, for safety reasons, hold their employees accountable if they get tested on the way into work.
Yeah.
If that makes
That
sense.
here it's legal in most places, but it's not legal to be high operating your vehicle. It's not legal to be high at work. You get what I'm saying? So, like, if you get caught high at work and they drug test you, getting fired. You get
So,
fired.
so the
So,
problem becomes there is because all of our police and highway patrol have both breathalyzers and roadside drug tests for amphetamines, cocaine, marijuana, so THC. The problem with THC is that it can stay in your system for so long,
right.
particularly if you're a regular user. Even if you used it yesterday and you got in your car first thing this morning, um, it's not really a question under the current laws whether you're actually high or not. It's whether they actually find it in the drug test. No different
Hey,
to
DJ,
boxing, and we
check the private chat, bro. Check the private chat.
private chat. I'm getting rid of stuff. Oh, yeah. So,
That's why I
but look,
asked.
I, I'd be you definitely can't just bring it in your backpack and fly into Australia. That's for sure.
Hell no. We know that.
Nah.
Y-
Traffic is
you,
like a
you,
motherfucker.
you're either going to be turned around and sent back, or you're here for a lot longer than you expected, and it's going to be
Right.
called jail. So, look,
Hey,
it's
I was listening to Mike Epps. My mama would have been like, "They got him,
Right. It's over.
got him."
Hell
look.
no.
There's plenty of recreational use. Like if I'm just going to call a spade, I mean the police and the government would like to think that there's not, but there's still plenty of recreational use of
Oh yeah.
mar- marijuana. So it's not uncommon. But what you'll find is it's not openly admitted or talked about.
Ah,
Got you.
it was just something I was wondering.
Got
Yeah.
you. Got you.
No, it's a fair question. Now, one of the things you guys touched on, um, and maybe I've asked this question before, do boxers in America or in the States, so just assuming for sake of question that they are um, American born or the American residents, do they have to pay tax on their earnings in the
Oh
ring
yeah. Oh yeah.
Hell
in
yeah.
every
Hell yeah.
state?
No.
Oh
Or
yeah.
No. Ain't no taxes in Vegas.
Ah, yep.
so
That's
that's
it.
so that's why it's so popular that they have the big fights in Vegas
But
because nobody
yeah,
has to pay tax on it. Is
New
that right?
York hella high. New York taxes high as fuck. Cali taxes high as fuck. Um, yeah. Where's another place where they don't pay like state tax? Ain't
Okay.
that
Well,
Maryland? They don't pay state tax in Maryland.
I
it's
can't
still
remember, but I
it's
know
still
every
But they don't
weird.
have fights there though. They don't have fights there though. But yeah, that's why they be wanting them in Vegas, bro. You
See,
can dodge the taxes
our taxation system is federal, so you get
and
taxed the
state
Oh,
same.
and
federal
state.
and
No,
statewide.
it's state and federal.
Yes.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is that if you fought in New South Wales in Australia, uh, like say in Sydney, you would pay the same taxes, exact same taxes, and proportion as you would if you went to Queensland in Brisbane and fought. So what I struggle with is your states have different laws and taxes, and
Yep. Every state is sovereign, but
that
under a
does my
union.
head in from Australia. Like you're not going to break the law accidentally if you go from one state to another because they're all other than a couple here and there, they're all the same.
Yeah, yeah. That's what they want to do. They want one world, one world order. Goddamn me. But some of that shit I agree on. Like this, this the thing that get me. I hate that the speed limit be 65 here, and then I get somewhere and it's 55, and I don't know. That shit be making me mad. Like I feel like it's entrapment. But like certain shit, I feel like certain laws should be the same across the board, bro.
Coming from the West Coast, when I got to the Midwest, I was like, why the fuck is everybody driving slow? And
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
on I-70 and it's 70 miles per hour, where on the West Coast it's like 80.
yep.
I'm
We
everybody
we
driving
have
slow.
40-kilometre, not mile, 40-kilometre-an-hour school zones. So between the hours of, I think it's 8:30 in the morning till 10, 8:30
Mm,
or 9:30, when all the school kids are arriving, buses and parents are dropping kids off.
mm.
For you to go past a public or a private school, the speed limit is 40 kilometres an hour. And let
Or
me
it's just
tell
like
you,
25 miles per hour. Yeah.
and mate, Usain Bolt or Justin Gatlin is jogging past me at that speed on the footpath. That's how
Damn.
slow it. That's how slow it seems, right?
They be
But
doing that where it's like 15 miles. It's what is it, like 15 miles when the light
15,
flashing.
25 sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah,
and where's
doing
Theo?
school. I don't know.
He's
I
getting
don't even
tardy. I'm gonna have to chip him about it, right?
know.
Flexi
But
time
the
bag.
switch,
I'm gonna call him, not heavy bag. Flexi time
it's
bag.
flexi time
I'll,
bag.
I'll, I'll, I'll turn up, perhaps.
Oh shit. So
No.
to get to your question, man, you said what are we expecting for Shakur tomorrow?
Yeah.
Shit,
Back on
dominance.
boxing.
He got
Dominance.
to. It got to be dominant because if he leaving top rank, you know, he got to have people, interested. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think that Matchroom, DAZN, there'd be plenty of other people, particularly PBC, that are losing big stable names. I don't think that Shakur would have any real issues because he doesn't have image issues or integrity issues. I think he'd just get picked up. But wouldn't it be more about him being dominant after his last fight that put a lot of people to sleep watching it so that he can help generate a bigger fight?
Yeah, that's what I'm
We,
saying. He
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 has.
needs he
This
has to perform this fight, and also, yeah, I agree with you. It'll be everybody be wanting to sign him, but it's about the money part. Who's gonna pay him the money that Bob has been paying him, or more? You see what I'm saying?
well, how
Like
does that work?
Eddie will
Because
take Shakur in a minute.
Shakur hasn't been active. So just how much is Bob able to pay Shakur if he's not returning any of it in the ring?
I mean, Bob work off guarantees. You see what I'm saying? That's how Bob work. It's not a pay-per-view thing with him. So if you get 2.5 million a fight, that's damn good. It's guaranteed. I don't have to wait for shit to come through every month. I don't have to worry about none of that. I'm getting my $2.5 million. Now, because that's the level where Shakur is at right now. He's yet to become a pay-per-view star. You see what I'm saying? If Eddie see interest in that, if he doesn't do good this fight, Eddie be like, yeah, I'll sign you, but I'm not gonna give you 2.5 a fight. And I'm just making that number up because I really believe he get like 3 or something like that. But like, Eddie not gonna want to pay him what Bob is giving him if he don't see an adequate performance. You get what I'm saying? Something that he could sell. Because one thing about Eddie can keep Shakur busy. That's for sure. He can keep him busy.
So why would Shakur, from a financial point of view, why is he actually leaving?
Because Bob not getting him the fights he want. Like everybody he want to fight, Bob not making it happen for him. So he unhappy. At some point, it's not about the money. He wants to be that star. He wants to elevate above that 2.5 or 3 million a fight. He been trying to get a fight for Lomachenko for the longest, and he seen Tank get that fight. everybody he want Kambosos agreed to fight him. Kambosos fought Lomachenko, you know what I mean? And he just feels like, Bob is hindering his career. So he wants out. See if he can go somewhere else to see if they can make things happen for him. So it's not really about the money, per se. It's the fights he wants. But once you leave, I can't imagine him want to take a massive pay cut. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, who's gonna keep him busy, and who's gonna guarantee him those fights?
It seems like he's on a mission to try to build a little legacy, get the fights
Yeah,
to kind of stamp him as
yeah.
a great.
And
He's
he's been
trying to make
calling
a Hall of
everybody out.
Fame. Yeah,
He has a point. No matter what you want to call him boring, don't nobody want to get in the ring with him. Some people say it's because he's boring. But like I say, usually the one that's the most avoided is the one they know that might have a chance. You get what I'm saying?
I was talking to Murph. He said Shakur is boring enough to beat a lot of guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This beep 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 lackluster
And he
fight.
young. He just got
Yep.
to learn how to mix it up like a Sugar Ray Leonard. Had those flurries of time to get the crowd into it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's expecting him to knock nobody out like that, even though he probably could. He just got to learn how to entertain the crowd while he's doing what he's doing. You know what I mean? That's all. Once he figured that shit out, shit, it's got to be the limit for him. But again, you got to get the right people in the ring with him, for him to make that
would he
mark.
would he generate 2.5 million using your guesstimate? Would he generate $2.5 million worth of bums on seats and pay-per-views for Bob to break even or get his money back on him?
Well, that's the
Or
thing. Nobody will get in the ring to make a pay per view because he just can't get in make a pay per view with somebody like with Hartunia or something like that. It would have to be a Loma. That possibly could have been a pay per view, or whatever the case may be, or an introductory pay per view, or even a Devon or somebody, or whatnot. But these guys just don't want to jump in the ring with. And I think Shakur's problem was he sparred everybody.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is a new age of boxing where they all want to spar each other, like
Be
they're
right back.
playing out, like they're playing outside. You get what I'm saying? And that's not the case. You can't be doing that because you're showing your skills, you're showing how elusive you are, and to that other fighter, it's like, damn, if I fight him in the future, it's gonna be hell to pay to try to catch this cat, or you know what I mean? Or he might
yeah.
actually have a chance of beating me. And he has sparred everybody.
Well, what you'd be telling him is if that you feel like you have to get in the ring and spar, make sure that you get beat up a little bit so that the other person thinks you're an easy beat. And then on the actual real night, then you can switch and turn on all your skills.
Right. And that's not what he was doing. He was too busy trying to show him that he's tough and he's worthy of a fight. But you showed him too much. You get what I mean? So, he's a victim of it, but money talks, and I think what's going to happen is in the future where if they do get one of these fighters, he's going to have to let that fighter be the A side. He's going to have to let them get, like a 45, 55, just to get them in the ring. Make the payday worth it so he can make, you know what I mean?
Do you think it becomes a little bit easier? Because I'm of the opinion that Loma retires win, lose, or draw after Tank.
Me
I
too.
think it's his final hurrah. And if you go back and have a look at this exact conversation you and I had after Cambosis, it just makes sense to me because for the first time I was hearing Loma sort of say that the camps were getting harder, away from his family and his kids and bits and pieces, which I hadn't ever heard before. And I thought, well, that kind of tells me maybe he's thinking about just hanging the gloves up. And what better
Right.
way to do it than a massive payday with Tank?
Yep.
So if Loma was to retire, that's one less top dog in the division. Surely that should help Shakur just by way of elimination, creep closer to one of the bigger prize fights.
Right. And he definitely him and Tank is definitely gonna fight. That's for sure. It's just a matter of when they're gonna fight. I think Tank looks at Shakur like everybody else. He could be the guy that could beat me. So why would I fight him sooner than later? You get what I'm saying? If I wait him out, he may slow down a bit or whatever, or he may end up getting a lot of wear and tear on him. That's going to work in my advantage, or things of
Who's
that nature. That's
who's
how I
older, Tank or Shakur?
Tank is. So it's just a
Well,
matter
Tank
of,
can't wait him out.
this is the thing. He got a 6 fight deal. Tank can fight 2 to 3 times a year. So it's just 2 years at the least. You get what I'm saying? Maybe 2.5.
Yeah.
So he got time, but and then also with Tank will having this advantage, Shakur ain't never been on that big stage before. See what I'm saying? It could very much end up looking like Frank Martin, because he never been in front of a crowd of 20,000 people and the magnitude of this fight. You know what I mean? Like Shakur got some growing to do still, where I feel like he need to be on a couple of his own pay-per-views and get the feeling of it, and where it's the even playing field, he's used to that. You know what I mean? So I like Shakur. A lot of people hate him because, everybody wants to see knockouts, but it's not called the sport isn't called knockouts. It's called boxing. And he boxes. Now that last performance, he put me to sleep on this motherfucker. I ain't know what the fuck was going on. I literally fell asleep on here live. But I even said, I said, something gotta be wrong, man. Something gotta be up for him not to be swinging, because from seeing how he fought Virgil Ortiz to how he fought that guy, that it just didn't make sense. You get what I'm saying? You fought, virtually stood in Virgil Ortiz face the entire fight, and he could punch. But it came to this other guy, you was running all around the ring. I felt like something was wrong, and sure enough, the next day they said he put out the X-ray to his hand. His hand was messed up already before the fight. So I expect this one he has to put his foot down, so to speak, and show the world what he made of. It's just that Shakur hasn't. He was on a roll for like 3 fights, showing his dominance, because before then, I forgot that one black guy he was fighting, and they was talking bad about him that fight because he got hit, and then he resorted to boxing, and then he was on about a 3 fight tyrant, and then this last fight he was running around the ring. It's just the lack of consistency. You get what I'm saying? If he can get that consistency down, if he can get with Eddie, and I don't know how the paperwork gonna go, that ain't my business, but it might be a lateral move, but to get people in the ring with him and stay busy and make some money and be consistent, he can build his name up and get those fights. But I do think he need a couple of pay-per-views of his own.
Did you make much of who's old mate that Bam just fought and beat?
Who Ben who? Ben Connor Ben?
Bam.
Oh, Bam. Yeah, Bam. Bad, bro. That's a bad boy.
Yeah, so who was it? It's on the tip of my tongue. Who did he fight last weekend?
Oh my God. It wasn't
Valdez.
Was it Valdez? I'm trying. Hold on, I'm finna find out. Don't worry about it. I'm finna find out now.
Well, when you do find it, did you see any of that that coverage and those suggestions there where Robert Garcia was suggesting that he was illegally rapping?
What? That Bam was?
No, the other bloke that Bam beat was illegally rapping.
Oh, for real? Wow. No, I did not know that.
Well, look, when you get time to scratch yourself at some stage, just go and look that up.
I am.
There's a what is it? It's the same bloke that's always in their gym, just interviewing them all. I forget the channel. But look, Bud's been accused of it before too.
Yeah,
I just,
because the way
I
he patted his hands. But
it's hard. It's hard for me to know. It's like one of those things, right? It's
yeah.
weight drained. It's all these other excuses that come out, and I was just wondering whether you'd had a look at it and sort of seen, Because they got people watching them. They got officials watching them now, haven't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
Or
They got an
it
official
just
in there and a coach from the other team or somebody from the other team is in there watching while you wrap your hand. That's the crazy part about it. That's why I'm like, what? Let me see. I am looking for this. Damn. Bam Rodriguez. Why are they popping up? Hold on, I'm finna find it easy right now. Right now.
it doesn't matter if you haven't seen it. Just if you do have a bit of a look at it, because they were looking at footage of him sort of rapping. And I sort of asked you the other weekend when we were talking about, or the other week when we were just talking about cheating in general, whether it was PEDs and those sorts of things. And I sort of said, well, you know, there's other ways to cheat too, not just
Oh yeah.
PEDs.
Oh hell yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
you
Miguel
you
Cotto got
don't
beat up.
you don't
Miguel
see the same, but you don't see the same bans for people that are caught cheating in other ways, do you?
no
Once it's a drug
PEDs.
thing, they want to come down hard on them. But,
Yeah.
for all of these other
It's like
headbutting
quiet.
and all this
It's
other,
yeah, the other stuff be like kind of kept quiet. Don't get blown out of proportion. Like Miguel Cotto fought Margarito. He had plaster in his gloves, bro. Like he did. He had plaster in his gloves. And he got caught. And he got suspended, but it was like under the radar. You know what I'm saying? Type of shit. It didn't get blown up like you say, anybody take PEDs though, it's like, oh my God, it hits the news so fast,
and that's my point. Cheating's cheating.
Yeah.
If you're gonna use, if you've got plaster or you're stacking,
Right.
potentially the safety of your opponent, you could still potentially kill or severely injure your opponent, right?
Right.
No different to PEDs. So, I think that I'd like to see some zero tolerance for any type of cheating.
Right.
One's not
Period.
worse than the other. It's just you cheat, we're gonna slap you with the rule book.
Right. 100%. But the thing about Canelo and Bud, when they was doing that type of rap, it was in Vegas, and in Vegas allows you to do it if you're prone to hand injuries. So the way they did it, they got to put an extra layer of padding on top of their knuckles. Versus, it's not stacking, but it's like damn near stacking. Put it that way. You get what I'm saying? The only difference is they can't put the tape in between it to make
Well,
it hard.
see, in principle, that gives me the shits. And let me
Uh
try
huh.
and, well, any professional sports person, male or female, right,
uh huh.
um, is only like injury sucks, right? So
Right.
if I'm a NFL quarterback or I don't know, a linebacker, what have you, and I continue to have my knee blow out through ACLs or something like that,
Mm,
the rules don't allow that person to actually do something against the rules to accommodate their career continuing, right?
mm,
So whilst I don't wish hand, wrist injuries on boxers, right?
mm,
Unfortunately, it's just part of the sport, and you've got to say, well, either I risk injury doing it equally the same way within the laws, or
mm.
if I'm not prepared to risk that injury, I need to retire,
Right.
or boxing's not for me. So I don't think that they should be creating rules for special occasions or special situations.
But that's
Does
the
that make
thing.
sense?
No, it makes all the sense. It goes back to what we was talking about before, where I feel like that it shouldn't be once each state has their own boxing commission. You see what I'm saying? In Vegas, they make that exception. They can't do that nowhere else though. Nobody else is gonna make that exception. You
It'd
see
be
what I'm
like
saying?
well, I don't see the difference in theory or concept that I'm prone to getting knocked out, so Vegas is going to allow me to wear headgear in the ring. You just
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there
But
has to
I
be.
was saying I wasn't saying it to take up for them. I was saying the actual what the reasoning why when I went to look it up because it was a thing that came up by Canelo, and then RC brought it up. Well, Bud did the same thing, and I found a video of Bud doing the same thing, and then when you look up the rule, it said prone to hand injury, and then it breaks it down. The difference between what they allow them to do with stacking is that when you stack, they put the tape between your fingers between each layer, which compresses. You understand what I'm saying? It compresses the padding. They're saying that by them letting them go ahead, put the tape through, then add a layer of padding on top. If anything, it softens the blow. That's what they say to protect their hands. I'm not refuting it. I'm with you. It should be the same across the fucking board. Hey, maybe your time is up if your hands can't hold up. You get what I'm saying? It should be part of the sport. You get what I'm saying? So I agree with you, DJ. I was just trying to say that was the reasoning that the Nevada Athletic State Commission gave a reason on why they let that happen.
Well, let me ask a different question then. If I'm seeing the ability for Nevada to, what would I do? What would I call it? Allow or introduce variations to the rules, we'll call it. In any other state, does the doctor stop Tim Tszyu and Fondora's fight because of the cut on his head? Or does that only happen in Vegas?
Nah, it would depend how much he was losing a lot of blood. But I'll say this: if anybody was gonna be the more lenient, it would have been Vegas and New York. I think anywhere else, it probably would even got far as it went. They would have saw they cut off when it happened, and they would have stopped it.
Do
New
you
York
catch
and Vegas is notorious for letting fights go on longer than they need to be.
What's your fight of the year so far? Because
Oh,
I'm hearing a lot of people, just because of the brutality and the blood, talk about Fondora.
It's up there, bro. It's up there though. That fight's gonna be up there because that's what people pay to see. As selfishly as it may sound, but people want to see blood and guts. I mean, you know what I mean? It was sad that they couldn't go to the distance or whatnot. You know what I mean? But I will say this though, it's not Tank. Tank ain't there. I mean, I know the knockout looked like, oh my God, but it was against a novice at that point. You know what I mean? That Pandora and Tim is definitely up there though. But I mean,
what do you think of the Paro Matthias fight? I only liked it because Paro was just so busy, like just always busy.
But I said he was.
Watch.
I didn't know if Paro was gonna pull it off, but like I said, I mean, I wasn't convinced about Matthias in the first place. He's like a rock'em sock'em roll. He gonna follow you around and, you know what I'm saying? Just move his fists. I mean, I don't know if that's gonna be fight of the year just because of that, but I mean, shit. I'm happy he extinguished that fire because it was getting bigger and bigger. People was thinking he really was the boogeyman, but I've seen fighters like him time after time.
So where have you landed, Slick? What jumps into your mind about fight of the year? Because was it Inoue earlier in the year that got knocked down and then just came back and just dominated?
Yeah, against Neri. Yep. That could be fight of the year. I ain't gonna lie, because I was like, damn, he got dropped. I didn't expect that because Neri. Well, it depends how you look at that fight, but he did overcome perseverance. It showed me something. Like whether he get knocked down or whatever the case may be, he's still gonna be the same when he get up. But I could put that fight at number one, but as grueling and as the Fondora and Zoo was, I think I had to put that above that one, bro. Just the simple fact that Tim was willing to keep going with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Tim himself could have quit.
Nah, he's not going to quit. You have to actually kill him or knock him out. But that's what was so exciting about potentially the Virgil fight. That if
Right.
Virgil's at full strength and full health, and he's just running through people, I think I told you and Tio, like I don't want to see it, but I'd be suitably impressed if he was to go in there and just, you know, give it to Tim. Like really just either knock him out, TKO or something like that. I would have to give him his I'd have to give him his props. But if you remember also as part of that, I didn't mind the Pitbull and Rolly fight by way of action. And the Bucketchuck, how do you
Yeah,
pronounce that?
boy, Chuck.
Boachuk and
Yeah,
Mendoza, that was pretty
that was a
violent
good.
too.
Yeah, that was.
And
Yeah,
Mendoza, his corner need to look after him better because
right,
you're not gonna knock that bloke out. You're probably gonna break his skull, his jaw, his nose, his eye
right.
socket, and he's just gonna keep going back out. So someone needs to look after that boy. He's too tough for his own good.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of trainers be afraid if they go against their fighter that they'll get fired or X, Y, and Z. And they won't keep that money going. But I don't know. It's kind of hard right now to pick fighter of the year. But right now, I would have to say it's between that Inoue fight and, like you say, Tim. But I'll be if I had to put both of them up right now or tomorrow on a vote, which fight was better? I'm willing to bet everybody's going to pick Tim Tszyu and Sebastian.
Do you think he lost? Do you think Tim Tszyu lost or gained fans
No,
in
he
his?
gained fans, bro. He was willing to fight through that shit. That boy was there, and he was on the verge of winning. He was on the verge of taking that fight over.
And
So
would you say if he landed 4 or 5 times? I think it was you.
yeah,
Might have been Punch. If he lands 4 or 5 times more during that fight, he might have won it.
hell yeah, like on everything, like dude, he flattened dude nose, bro. Like he was finna break that dude down all the way down, and I feel like that rematch should have been immediate. That's how I see it.
Well, they won't do it because they learned a lesson. They potentially just know how vulnerable they might be. Um, but look, I still think Fondora is going to be better for it. It'll be interesting to see what style or what his strategy is against Errol. It'll be interesting to see just how where Errol's mindset is, whether he's put the whole Bud thing behind him and just said that was a bad night, and he comes out no different to Errol of yesteryear. I
Uh,
see that the promotions are starting to wind up a little bit around Madrimov and Bud.
yeah,
I caught a little bit of Pro Box. I'm not sure if you watched that.
yeah.
And most of them on there were saying, look, don't underestimate Madrimov. He's got a puncher's chance, so to speak, like anyone does. But I'm not sure whether they were trying to sell the fight, but they weren't at all convinced that Bud was just going to walk straight through him.
I don't think he walking straight through him, but on everything, I don't think he walks straight through him, but I do think he figures him out and just picks him apart, and might even knock him out. But that's a big might. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that he walks. I don't think he walks through him. I just don't. He's gonna go in there knowing that boy hit hard. He does. He may swing wide at times, but you catch one of those, you may be going to sleep. You know what I'm saying? And given his age and all of that, Bud's smart, bro. Excuse me. Bud is very smart. He's not arrogant by any means. Like he know how old he's getting. He knows what he has to do, and he just got to put on a whole show and be victorious behind that. And I don't care what nobody say. You could count that guy out, but we gotta remember this guy's shot. He finna come in and give his all. He beats Bud. He's on the top of the food chain. So you could never underestimate a guy like that.
Yep.
And that has proven itself to be dangerous already. You get what I'm saying? This is not just a guy we have never heard about. He's already proven that he's dangerous.
Well, I guess part of the motivation is that I'm sure that Bud and his team know that if somehow, for some reason, by accident or otherwise, that Madrimov does beat Bud, any future Canelo fight, it's gone.
Yeah, it's out of there. It's out of
So
there.
I haven't heard anything. Maybe you have. I haven't heard anything from Mel Charlo calling anyone out or trying to sneak his name in amongst it.
Right.
Uh,
Mark
and I don't,
Wayne, what's good?
Mark's here.
Mark Wayne just
Yeah.
Mark Wayne just
G'day,
came
Mark.
in.
Does he ever come up for a yarn? He's normally out and about. He's normally doing something, Mark. He's pretty active, or he's in a different country. Bali. He's trying to get you and Tio across there to Thailand, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. That's on my list too.
Pack your bags.
Delta
Just go.
Defcon, what's happening? But yeah, man, Bud smart, dude, dangerous. He know he dangerous, but at the same time, like you said, he has to come in there and make a mark on him, on Madrimov, to get that Canelo fight. Now I have a theory. I think Canelo bullshitting on purpose just to see if this shit come through. I think he's trying to postpone all the way to August 3rd to see how this fight finna pan out before he pick anybody who he's gonna fight. You know, it went from Jamel, Berlanga, and now they're talking about who are they talking about? Chris Eubank Jr.
Oh, I don't want to see him fight Chris Eubank Jr.
Hell no, nobody does.
That's just a glorified training session for
Exactly. So now those three. So I think he's throwing these names out there, and they're bullshitting around on purpose just to see what this August 3rd finna look like. You get what I'm saying?
And have you got any confidence ever that the Benavidez fight's going to happen?
Nah.
I think that, for me, that's only his retirement fight.
Yeah.
That's the only, in my mind, that's
it
the only
has to
way
be the last fight. It's the
Yep.
biggest. It's the biggest. He can fight Bud. That's going to be big, okay? But it's not going to be bigger than the Benavidez and Canelo fight. It's just not. And I feel that would be the fight. If I'm going to lose, I'm going to get paid to lose. I'm going to get paid a lot of fucking money, and I can go sell off in the sunset. It'd be like passing of the torch. You know what I'm saying?
Does Canelo get any real credit from the right people? Not the wrong people, but from the right people if he was to fight and beat Bud?
Hell yeah. I will give him credit. Hell yeah. Because okay, this is how it goes. People sit there and say, man, that's 3 weight classes, right? Well, shit. If Canelo could do it, how come Bud can't? Canelo went up, what, more than 3? 147 all the way, what? He went all the way up to light heavyweight and fought, right?
Well, Bud would do the same, wouldn't he? Didn't Bud start at
135?
Wasn't it? He was smaller than that when he first started, wasn't he?
Nah, he was 135 when he came pros. And then he went to 140. He went to 140.
So
became undisputed, 147.
Cleaned up in 3, starting potentially a 4th.
Yeah.
If he cleans up at 154, I reckon he can easily clean up at 160.
Hell yeah.
There's no one at 160 I'm looking at that
messes with. I don't see nobody messing with him.
Well, I just Genovic fights in next weekend or something, isn't it?
That's the only one. But see, he's still kind of green though. You see what I'm saying? You got to get him early.
Competition's no better than Boots Inner's competition comparatively.
Nah, hey, tell me you don't see.
Oh, bit of sore point. Here we go.
Hey, tell me you don't see Genovic being a problem though. He's a problem, man. I like Genovic. Genovic ain't no joke, man. I don't think Genovic is something that people just want to jump in the ring with. You know, he'll be a prime for Boots. He'll be a problem for Bud.
If anything, Bud can get a warm up and he can fight the 75-year-old that is Erzandi Lara.
Right.
Oh, I can't tell you embarrassed I feel of Michael coming over and just getting knocked out second round by
Man,
Lara. Like I I didn't expect a win, but I needed something better than that.
right. I didn't even think
That,
I
that was a
forgot
bad look,
I
don't you?
forgot Laura had existed. I did. I was like, what? Is this the same Laura? What? He champ? What? I was like, how? But yeah, man. Janabek, that dude though. I forgot all about Janabek. I think he got a fight coming up soon too. But yeah, I think he would get
Next
boots.
weekend, I think it
But
is.
yeah, I think
Next
he
week
yeah.
in the next couple of weeks.
Yep. I think he get Bud and Boots a problem, bro. That's a tough cat. He from what? He from the same place, Triple G, right? Kakistan. Uh,
Oh, I
uh,
couldn't tell you, but it kind of
yeah,
feels like because it hasn't been a deep division, um, that I've got that uneducated opinion of 160 that yes, you have world champs. I'm not going to take that off anyone. But what was the quality of the opposition to get there?
true, true, true. It wasn't much there, but if he go to 168, oh my god, and that's probably what's going to end up happening. Though.
Is that the biggest upset in history if Bud goes up and cleans up Canelo? If it does happen,
Hell yeah, not in history, but it's one of them because just because of what people perception is. For me, it's gonna be like, damn, he did it. You know what I mean? He can become 3-time undisputed. That's how I look at it. But for him to jump like that, how people are saying, oh, man, he jump all these weight classes, do that. Like I said, it's been done before. People forget who Pacquiao is. People forget Canelo was at 147. You see what I'm saying? Like, and went up all these weight classes. Like, but when Bud want to do it, they're like, man, that's 3 weight classes he finna jump. Man, I'm like, are y'all serious? This has been done before. When Sugar Ray Leonard and all of them fought each other, they was going up and down in weight classes. You know what I'm saying? So this is what people do. Like, once you clear your weight class, like, damn, I want to take on the next big guy, like in another weight class, because you have nobody else really to fight. So why not test your boundaries? You know, that's what Canelo did. When he got to Bivol, he tested his boundaries. Said, okay, I'm gonna take my ass right back down.
how much, for me, not others, but for me, how much credibility should I really give Tio, Teofimo,
Uh-huh.
calling out Bud at 154? Like,
But
there's
my
no part of that
no,
that suggests that's a good idea for
it's
Tio.
no, it's not. And Bud mops the floor with Tio. That's not a good fight for him. Coming off the fight he just had with I forgot his name that quick. This past Saturday, that was a decent performance, but not the performance that people wanted to see. He was making all sorts of bad decisions in there. He should have been going to the body, slow that man down. You knew he was coming there to run a marathon on you. Slow him down, and you might have got the knockout if you went to the body. But you didn't do none of that. You was too busy trying to make a statement by knocking him out and not realizing you're not going to do that. This dude's coming off a knockout streak of his own. Like, you know what I mean? So his confidence is at an all-time high. And for him to make those type of bad decisions, I was like, yeah, he's not thinking smart at all in that ring. So, and the things that he said after the fight too, he wasn't even confident in his own win. When he made a statement, he said, Shakur's leaving, so yeah, I think I did good. Bob didn't look too happy, but hey, I'm his only star left on Top Rank. You wouldn't have made a statement like that if you felt like you did a great job. You get what I'm saying?
But he's retired again, hasn't he? Is this the
I,
second or third time that he's
yeah, man, ain't no
retired?
telling what he doing, man.
But
Ain't no telling.
wasn't it not that long ago he was going to petition to go to 147?
Yeah, but he's gonna end up going there anyways because ain't nothing there for him unless he really is gonna entertain a fight with Devin or something like that. But
At 147,
whatever at one he needs to at 140. He go to 147, you have some problems there too. But he's not the same guy no more. He's just not. I don't know what
Well,
Cambosis.
he's erratic though. Like you can never guarantee which TO is going to turn up. The bloke that just
Yeah,
gets in
I
the ring
promise
and
you.
just obliviates people, or the bloke that gets in the ring that makes mistakes and gets found out.
Right, right. Yeah.
Would that be a fair assessment? Which TO
No,
is turning
that's
up?
right. That's right. Like I said, that's when you hear me. I don't know if you ever heard me say Gordo. They used to call him Gordo, right? That was his nickname. That dude was a beast. That was the TO before Cambosis. You see what I'm saying? That was the TO before Cambosis. That TO was the shit. Whatever voodoo Cambosis put on him, I don't know, but he ain't been the same since. He hasn't. He has not. So I don't know. Hey, Mark, if this you coming in, trying to come in and say device not connected, I don't know what that means. Maybe it's the camera. Maybe you try to use your phone. You should go out and try to come back in. Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
I've been caught out before like that. What I've got to. Oh, he was
It,
there.
it was in, then it dropped out. Okay, let's try again.
What?
There you go. What it do, Mark?
Hey, there you go.
There we go.
You there?
Yeah, we here. We here.
Yeah, I got you, Mark.
Huh?
There you go.
I'm just I'm in Bali down the beach having a beer.
You having a beer? Oh, Bali. You got a. You all
Up
over,
on the
ain't you?
north coast in Albania.
You all over, ain't you?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you got to enjoy life.
I know that's right, man. I know that's right.
I tried to turn the camera on so you could so you could see, but it won't let me.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that
Nah, the
sucks.
FBI's got filters on you, Mark. They know what you get up to.
ASIO probably too.
Yeah, yeah, because it's
You got to do
daytime.
something to be able to afford holidays.
What's that, Mark?
I said you've got to be able. You got to do something to be able to afford all these holidays.
Huh. Bro, I gotta get where you at, man. I gotta get all my destinations. I got plans in the work because I'm getting there.
It only inspired me. I was listening to you, and there's an American couple sitting next to us. So I thought, I'll jump in and just say good. I'm only going to be on quick. I just wanted to say good day. That was all.
That's what it do, man. Don't be a stranger, bro.
I'm glad you actually put
And,
a voice to the name.
Right, right.
Sometimes that's nice.
and,
I see you here and over in TOs, and we chat and ask each other questions and whatnot. But at least now I've got a voice to put to the name, which is nice.
yeah, well, I tried to do the picture thing like a video, like I said, but it's not out. It's not happening. So
Okay. Maybe
Look, I
next
put
time.
my camera on too, but I just don't want to make Slick look ordinary. So I'm happy with that.
Heard that, man. Heard that.
I
I like
wanted
that.
to show you my wife just laying back there on a beanbag under an umbrella, but it's not letting. So
Hey, while I've got you, Paro's next fight. What are you putting your money on? Who and where?
well, I'd like to see him rematch Matthias in Australia, but if that doesn't happen, then one of the other champions, one of I don't know. Let's start at the bottom, like the worst champion that they've got. I reckon Tio. So we'll take him out first.
Ooh.
That'd be a good fight. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, that'd be a good fight though.
Tio's too
For
greedy to come
Pyro.
to Australia. Like if he doesn't feel like he's the A side or getting treated like the A side, he's not fighting anyone.
Yeah, that might be true.
Devon.
But who are the other ones? There's Haney and who's the other one? Haney.
You got Haney. He not champ at 140, but he'd
Oh
be nice.
no, not Haney.
And then
So
but you got Pitbull Cruz.
Oh, Pitbull, yeah.
Yeah. But I'd like to see him get Tio. That'd be a great name for him to start off with.
Yeah, I think so. I think he'd make him easy too, I reckon.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Believe it or not, I actually think that the Australian public, Mark, wouldn't mind someone like Rowley coming over to Australia to fight Paro.
Yeah, Rolly will come. Rolly want that money. Rolly a go for sure.
But
Hell
who are the
yeah.
other two that at 140? There's Tio,
I'm trying to think. You got T.O., Pitbull. Let me
Pitbull,
see.
and yeah, I can't think.
I can't think either, bro.
It's
I'm
the
looking.
IBF guy in it that's sort of just unfamiliar.
Wait. Uh,
Slick's looking it up.
yeah.
Anyway,
What
I think start with
40.
Tio.
what beer are you drinking over in Bali?
Bintang.
Bintang.
Bintang, it's called. And in Indonesian, Bintang means star.
Thailand and that there you drink the tiger beer. Is that what you drink when you're over there?
Nah, Bintang, it's called. Now,
Yeah,
Tiger
that
beer, I think that, I think that's like Singaporean, because that's not even in Thailand. Tiger, I think, is like Malaysian or Philippines, maybe.
I was drinking it in Phuket, however you want to actually pronounce it. I was drinking tiger beer
Tiger.
there. Yeah.
I never seen that a couple of months ago when I was there. They only got, I only seen Leo, Singer, and Chang, plus San
Could be
Miguel, which is imported.
could be an Australian beer that's just gone out of business like the rest
Oh,
of the
shit.
businesses around.
The WC is vacant, y'all.
Oh, right. I thought all the
Yeah.
belts were held
So
by
the
somebody.
TFMO, Leon Paro is IBF, WA is Eastside Cruise, and the WC is vacant at
So who's
140.
Okay.
the number one contender?
Oh, that's right. It is vacant because remember David Haney is champion of recess. So that made perfect sense. I'm
Yeah,
tripping. Yeah.
yeah.
Do
Anyway, I'm going
you
to let you go 'cause I need another beer.
All
just before
right.
you go, Mark? Would you
All right.
entertain? Just before you go, one last question: do you see any value or entertain Cambosis Paro fight in Australia? All Australian Duke.
Oh, be good for Cambosis to earn a little bit more money, but he'll get trashed by Paro. I've never rated Cambosis. He was lucky to get that belt off Tio. I don't know what the hell we're going on there.
Yeah, look, unfortunately, I agree with you. I just didn't want to trash him just being an Australian.
Yeah,
But it would be a good move to get to TO though.
I think
To have
start
a
with
like
Tio.
opponent.
Yeah, if they offered enough money, Tio would come.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely want to be A side.
He not coming for 22% like Haney did though.
No, but Paro hasn't got the name in Australia like Opataya or Tim Zhu either yet. So
Right.
Yeah, but Cambosis didn't have a name. I'd never heard of him before he won that fucking title, to be honest.
who?
Cambosis.
Cambosis. I feel
Well,
stupid. He said,
hey,
who?
swear jar there. I swore it in. I'll put a little bit in the swear jar for me.
I got you. Got you, so I
Well,
swear jar.
stay safe and enjoy your holiday, Mark.
All right. Cheers, fellas.
For
I'll
sure, for
keep
sure.
listening.
All right,
Okay.
all right.
See ya. Yeah, I don't know hang this fucking thing up.
Yeah, man. But no, that would be great if he get a like opponent, he fight Cambosis and beat him worse than TF. You know what I'm saying? Beat him up, get a like opponent, and them type of things kind of force the public, make the public force to fight. You get what I'm saying?
Well, the reason I brought it up is because Cambosis is familiar to the Australian sporting public. Remember, I was telling you a couple of weeks ago is that we're very patriotic when it comes to, I guess, our elite sportsmen and women. We like to see them doing well, and if they're not active, so for Paro to get his name in people's minds and on their lips that aren't dedicated boxing fans, potentially the best way to do that is to grab another Australian name and put them in the ring together. And then as part of that, they start to realise, what Paro's actually achieved overseas by default, just in the build up and, all those sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not confident at the moment that there's a lot of top liners over in the States or Mexico that would want to come to Australia. There's no reason not to. I think we've got a pretty good record by way of fair judging. I think you'd be hard pressed to find other than the Pacquiao and
Right. Jeff Horn.
Jeff Horn. That's probably about the closest to a dodgy decision that I can remember here in Australia. So they should be confident that they're going to get a fair, at least judgment, a fair go. But unless you've got a big name from a big promoter like a No Limit or something like that, it's hard to generate the excitement and the enthusiasm. So I know that Eddie Hearn wanted to bring Haney here in November to fight Para, but I'm guessing
that might not fall through now.
Well, look, to be fair, not that I hate the idea of it. I don't want to be questioning Devin Haney's mental health when he gets in the ring. Like I don't want to have a ready-made default excuse.
Right.
If a Para or someone like that was to run over Devin because he hasn't properly recovered from the whole Ryan thing.
Right.
So if you're going to beat him when he's 100% mentally, physically focused, fit, and ready to go. If you can beat him. Does that make sense?
No, they do. He need to tune
Because
up.
you know yourself, over there, the public could go mad. If Devin Haney got on a plane and came over here for the third time and just got absolutely washed, the first thing the sporting public's going to say is, look, he mentally wasn't there or committed to the sport, and that just takes away from, Paro potentially winning that.
Right. No, you got a point.
Well, and look, humanity in me says that you don't actually want anyone to suffer mentally or otherwise. So just take the time if need be and get yourself right. So maybe he's doing the right thing. It just looks like a tantrum after everything's gone on, but the reality is that at times it probably wouldn't have hurt Ryan to go and have a 12-month break either.
Right. And Ryan definitely need to take him a break and get his head together. That's for sure.
Is he done? Sure. Can you see him coming back to boxing?
Yeah, he'll be back. Ryan will be back. He got no supporters, man. When I tell you how many people was on there defending what he was saying, he has a cult following, bro. He'll definitely be back. He's still gonna sell. This is gonna fly under the rug in a couple of months. Nobody's gonna care. I feel Devin needs to get back on the horse. I don't think Devin should take a year. I feel like Devin needs figure out where he wants to fight at, whether it's gonna be a 140, 147, or catch weights, and go get a tune up. You know what I mean?
Well, just build his confidence back up. Give him someone that he can just play with his food a little bit.
Yeah.
Just get rid of some of those demons and let him remind himself that he's got skills and, because he does have skills. He definitely has skills.
He just don't have the punch. He just doesn't have punching power. But that doesn't take away from him being could possibly be a great boxer. You get what I'm saying? He just needs to know how to use what he has and be effective with it. That's all it's about. But I agree with you. Give him somebody that potentially he's supposed to beat, but to clear the cobwebs out his head or whatever you want to call it, get all that bad shit out your head. As we say, get him back on the horse and let him rock from there. But I definitely don't think he should go directly into a championship fight. That would be a no-no. That would be a no-no because Power wouldn't get 100% of his gratification from that. You know what I mean? And people would give him 100% of their props on that because they'll say that he beat a mentally depleted Devin Haney.
Well, that's the default position, but when you flip it the other way, Slick, if you think about it, some people get the bit between their teeth when these things sort to happen and they want to come out and make a big statement. You know, they're
Uh-huh.
pissed off. They're ready to, really show the world that it was just a bad outing, a bad night, bad decisions, bad strategy, whatever it might be. But you know, it's hard to see that particular fight going any other way, regardless of the extra 3 pounds or the PEDs.
Yeah.
It
Nope.
was
Nobody
the
told him not
first
to move
time
his
I've
head.
seen Devon do something that it was just foreign to me.
Yeah. It was bad decisions, bro. Bad decisions. Nobody told him not to move his head. I stand on everything I said. That it was a piss poor performance from Devin, and it was under condition right. I don't think PDs had nothing to do with that. Nobody told Devin not to move his head. You know, stay away from that left hand. Nobody told him not to do that. So he chose to do that, and that's what ultimately cost him the fight. And he had more than enough times to take that fight back over, and he just chose to do what he wanted to do. I mean, hey, it is what it is. I stand on that. I don't think PDs had anything to do with it. You know, whatnot. I know a lot of people trying to link what I said, right? What I'm saying right now, like, oh, why you don't talk bad about Ryan now? I'm not even talking bad about Ryan right now. I'm just saying what he's saying ain't right, and that PDs and all that other shit is a sport, and what he doing now is two different things. So, and at the end of the day, I hope Devin do come back and get a fight and get, like you say, hop back on a horse and keep this shit rolling. I don't think it's gonna do him any good to take no year off, gain a bunch of weight, and have to concentrate, lose all this weight, and possibly walk himself into a big fight and might lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that if I sort of read into what Delta Defcon's saying there beyond sports now, I think that he or she kind of supports what you're saying, that it's sort of beyond boxing now.
Yeah,
And look, I think it'd be okay, Ryan, think and feel however you want. Just don't go and tell the world.
yeah, yeah.
You
Like
know,
there's a
like
place and time. Well, it ain't a place time for that type of shit anywhere, but it's just like you have to be smart, bro. Like you're a public figure. He said it said, "Oh, I guess because I'm a public figure, people want to take it out of context." You fucking dumbass. People are looking for shit to shit on you about. You get what I'm saying? Like there's
well,
more
I
people that
think,
want you to lose than win, and you're known worldwide, and you really gonna say that? Like you have to be smart about that, bro. Like I don't
I
know.
reckon that he presents to me like he's got the intelligence to know full well what
Mm,
he was saying and the implications that might have come with that. But,
yeah.
he just said, well, bugger it. I'm not going to be told or controlled or, what I will and
Mm,
won't say and how I feel. That's it. It's out there. But my point is that if you need to feel or think that way or somehow, have some sort of feelings about something, well, you can have that without actually telling the world that's what you think and feel.
right. Right.
Um, but look, we'll wait and see, I suppose, in that space. I'd like to see him back. I think that if anything, part of part of him beating Devin Haney removed. If I remove all the noise around the Peds and suing and this, that, and whatever else, I wasn't sure about Ryan Garcia's capabilities, him coming into this fight, before all
Mm,
this other stuff unfolded. But there looks to be, well, because you could argue we folded a little bit against Tank.
yeah.
He sort of
Yeah.
didn't have the heart there, but
Right.
obviously there's some talent there. It's just how he chooses to best utilize that talent or waste it, I guess, because he's every chance of wasting it the way he's going.
Right. Right.
You, do you agree? Because we were talking about it. And I said,
Yeah.
well,
No, I agree. It's
who's he beat? What's he done?
yeah.
He sort of almost, for want of a better word, he might as well have quit on the stool
Right.
against Tank. Um, and so I had all these questions. But then when he was able to go the distance and upset or bluff Haney, that sort of says, well, there's something there.
Yeah. Now Ryan has talent. He just hasn't had the opponents to elevate his status and his talent. He jumps these big fights. It's like we say, they put the cart before the horse. He's a young kid that done made tens of millions of dollars. Like I think he done made probably over $60 million in boxing already by fighting nobodies, and he's only have two big opponents. Tank was his biggest payday, not Devin. You get what I'm saying? And he think he's larger than life. Like he's not. Like to me, like I said, I still feel like Ryan is a prospect. You get what I'm saying? When Ryan fought Tank, Tank was seasoned. Ryan wasn't. You see what I'm saying? It was like looking at like how Frank Martin wasn't. Frank is a prospect technically, and Tank is seasoned. It was like one of the same. The only difference is Ryan is more known because he's always online. He built the audience up on Instagram, TikTok, and you get what I'm saying? So his face is more plastered everywhere than anybody, and it makes you think that he's more than what he is.
I reckon that Ryan, and I'm not sure about you, I reckon the best thing for Ryan would to be have a big brother that gives him a don't argue from time to time. Like, pull your head in, whack, cut that
Right,
shit out, whack.
right,
Like you know that sort of figure that has that sort of influence to say, yeah, okay, it's not the end of the world, but just don't repeat it. Learn
right,
from it.
right,
And if you want to carry on and get bigger than what you are, I'll put you back in your place. Just
right.
that kind of feels like the sort of leadership and influence that I think could be positive for him. But in saying that, I'm not going to stand here or sit here and disrespect his parents either. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
they're doing the best they can, the best they did, and I don't want in any way, shape, or form to this to be a reflection on them. That's completely unfair.
Well, I ain't gonna say this part is, but I will say it's part of his upbringing. And the only reason I say that is part of you. Like kids repeat shit they see, and they're comfortable doing things that they see. So like the reason I say that is because like when his dad was on stage and him and Bill was going at it, the first thing he went at was "shut your nappy headed ass up," and everyone was like, "What?" Like you know what I'm saying? Like where the fuck did that come from? You know what I mean? Then he cleaned it up. Oh, you're up here with your nappy hair out like Don King. So he may have heard it growing. You get what I'm saying? Growing up, he got drunk. He repeating what he heard. I don't always wholeheartedly believe like, oh, Ryan May is a just a stone cold racist. No, I don't believe it is. I don't think he's a victim at all. I think that he's just what's the word? Ignorant to the fact of maybe he was trying to convey something, but when he called himself doubling down and not understanding that you're hurting people more than you're helping, it's a problem. And you're gonna come off as a racist. It's the same thing as when I said about the PEDs. It's wild that he passed the first four tests but failed the last two. So okay, maybe there's a validity to maybe it was a supplement. But I can't even give you that because you still should know what you're putting in your body. So you still label to cheat. You got to eat that. So it's one of the same. You get what I'm saying?
Well, the responsibility is to understand what you're putting in your body.
Right.
No different to when you go to court and say, "Oh, I didn't know, Your Honour." That's not a defence, right?
Right.
So whether you knew what you were putting in your body or not, the buck stops with you because you need to take responsibility for whatever that is.
Exactly.
And there's so much circumspect, when you talk about something not related, but something comparable. Like, how do you ever know that you're getting all of the truth and all of the facts?
Hmm.
You unless you're there at the table, whether it be at the commissioning body, the sanctioning body, the teams, the
Hmm.
drug testing lab, you get so many different information and differing opinions and debates, you go, well, all we know now is that he's gone in there, he's pleaded guilty for all number of reasons. Because do you remember old mate that came in and said that, who was it? Was it RC that came on and said, well, he actually didn't take the ban, he didn't get the ban for the drug test. He got
Right.
the ban from not declaring that he was using a supplement.
Right.
Is that what I heard correctly?
No, that's right.
Yep.
That's right.
So if you're not hearing that correctly, what you're doing is you're going, oh, he got banned for performance
PEDs.
enhancing drugs. Well, he
Mhm.
actually didn't technically. So,
Right.
and this probably for me comes back to just being cognizant. And I'm sure in your time on this earth, what's happening in behind the scenes in Ryan's private life, whether it's family, whether it's whatever it might be, we don't deserve to know. It's none of our business, but we don't
True.
know that there's not a whole heap of other influences that he's struggling with as a young adult.
Right.
Plenty of young adults have struggled at times. Stress, pressure, anxiety, money, whatever it is. So all you can really do is just make sure you got the right people around you.
And that's what it. Thank you. That's what I was saying in the beginning. Them guys around them is yes men. They not. And then when I came up, and all them guys are like on his payroll. You know, he doing something for all of them. You know, and if he's the bag, so to speak, meaning the breadwinner, you supposed to protect the breadwinner. You know what I mean? Like somebody in that group that was on that live should say, "Hey, dude, you tripping? Take the phone from him." You know what I'm saying? Like instead, they were just encouraging it,
And
and
that's
I
what I
don't.
mean about
And
that big
they
brother
don't need.
figure. It
Yeah,
just calls the bullshit out and says, "Oi, you won't, you can't, and you're not to."
exactly. So I hope you come out. I come out on this and understand that the circle you're around, they're just a bunch of yes men enablers. They don't have his best interests at heart. You know what I'm saying? Especially career wise, because that possibly, it still might be possibly career suicide. Whatever the case may be. It
How
will be.
how many teams fall apart after a boxer loses a fight?
It's
Like
quite a.
it's something that I imagine happens or
Yeah.
isn't. You see, where I think that Zab Judah was saying that after a loss, he only wanted yes people around him to get his confidence back.
Right.
Whereas I assume that there's part of a posse that wants to be part of the cool group. And once you take your L or you get beat, you lose your title, they move on and leave you.
Right.
Is that realistic for boxers? Once the fame goes, they're left with no one else around them.
Some, but that's about building keeping the people around you, that cares. You know what I'm saying? About your well being, your health, and everything else, at the end of the day. So like a lot of people just want yes men to make them feel well. Even when they're winners, they just want that. So they feel like they're empowered because they know whatever they say they're gonna do. You know what I mean? I've always been accredited as the guy that when we was younger, man, you always trying to be different. I'm like, man, that shit not smart. Like, I don't even know why you trying to go over there. You already know you're going to go have fun. Then after that party over, we going to get in trouble. I'm not going. Oh, man, you tripping. But now that all my friends that was like that and we're older, they all say the same thing. This ain't me toot my horn. Man, Slick, you was always the smart one, bro. You know what I mean? I was the thinker. And I used to always go against, like, they would say stuff like, you're stupid. Why would you do that? Man, why you tripping, man? You should... Man, all I'm saying, no, you want me to say it's cool, but that's not cool. You know what I mean? If you care, like I tell everybody, the friend that's a real friend is the one that's going to tell you the truth, whether it's going to piss you off and you going to hate him or not. You know what I mean? So, and I don't think he has that. He don't have that, like you say, big brother or somebody to say, hey man, you tripping. I don't care how you feel, but you tripping, bro. He's got a bunch of yes men, and yes men will lead you to your grave, as my dad told me.
So you might have attracted one of those different personalities to your broadcast
Oh
potentially.
my, again, always, bro. Let me look over here. Lance Meyer. I think I just got what? Nah,
Yeah,
stop
that's a
playing,
little
man.
bit different. Well, I hope not.
Right. That's what
Whoever you are, I wouldn't wish that on you. So while you're trawling through that, is it your belief that that's part of the trainer's job to be that?
It depends what age you get them. Like Tank, Calvin Ford and Tank. Calvin Ford could say stuff like that to Tank. Tank looks up to Calvin Ford. He's been in Tank life since 7 years old. He trusts Calvin. You get what I'm saying? Take Derek James just getting Garcia. He snap on Garcia. Garcia be like, well, fuck you. He be like, fuck you. And they go their separate ways. There's no real camaraderie there. It's just a work relationship. You get what I mean? Yeah, so it depends. It just depends. You know what I'm saying? Man, we got the trolls here tonight. What that parlay looking like? I can't even give you nothing on the gambling side, Lance.
Super gay sport.
No, not Lance. Point and shoot. My bad. Parlay, yeah.
Yeah, well, if you got a good one, point and shoot, share it. We'll put it $10 each way on it.
Right.
Don't be selfish. The how do I? Has there been any further development with Mayweather Ellaby split over there? Like, are any truths or facts starting to come to light about how that split happened?
We just know that the split there, but we don't. There's no 100% facts. Some people is pointing towards because Ellaby is supporting Tank, and Mayweather don't want to have nothing to do with Tank. You know what I mean? So we don't know. That probably come out in the future, but not no time soon. You know, if we keep seeing Leonard Ellaby with Tank at every fight, then we definitely it's just gonna tell itself. He chose a side. You know what I mean? And that's who he's managing at that time. You know.
Well, I'll let you answer that one, Slick. Looks like Point and Shoot's looking for a little bit of a heads up on Shakur.
I see Shakur. Shakur fight may go the distance. Just because that's the type of fighter he is. Yeah, that's the type of fighter he is.
Really?
Yeah, Shakur don't be looking to knock nobody out, bro. He definitely.
You just said to me that he needs to go out and make a statement.
But there's a way
that statement includes just sitting him on his butt.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so, but it's Shakur. But there's a way he still could make a statement. Like I say, it could be onslaught. You know what I'm saying? It could be onslaught. He can entertain the crowd and give people what they want. Like I said, you give 12 rounds
with your food. Just beat them up without knocking them out.
But if he can get him out, get him out. But it's hard for me to say, like, if the bet spread was up, put $100 on him knocking him out. I'm not gonna tell you to do that because Shakur don't. You know what I'm saying? His record says it. I mean, he doesn't go looking for that.
So what I'm hearing is definitely don't put your $100 on a third round knockout.
Right. He may, but that's how Artem is anyways, though. He just a humble dude that like to fight. You got to remember, a lot of guys in other countries, you know what I'm saying? A lot of guys in other countries, they look at it as a sport, like how it should be. You understand what I'm saying? They don't look at it as like, oh, it's the press conference. I got to talk shit to you and to let you know that I'm so macho. You know what I'm saying? That's an American thing, bro. That's an American thing.
I'm just having a moment, having a bit of a giggle. Lance is up, you.
Yeah, I see him. Don't you fucking mind. He's trolling his ass off, man. I ain't never lied now. But that's an American thing. You look. You ever watch Triple G? How he be smiling shit and be talking? This is just a big drama show. I do this for the people. He don't care to talk shit. He'll tell you this is just part of it. I don't care. And then he get in there and perform and fuck you up. So all that sometimes what they be talking about, he's showing too much respect. Remember, he's from a whole nother country. They look at boxers different than we do. You know what I'm saying? Over here, fighters will do that shit to build, make themselves feel confident in what they doing. But that shit don't make no. Never mind some of these cats that's coming from these other countries, man.
Are you predicting that Boots is going to knock old mate out?
Yeah, he should get him out of there. When is the question though? That's gonna tell us a lot. That's gonna tell us a lot.
Yeah, look, I would certainly predict that if if Boots wants to go out there and show a little bit of frustration that he's not getting the opportunities, he hasn't been able to fight. Eddie Hearn's probably got him in a pretty good headspace. I'd expect I'd expect Boots to actually stop him at some
Yeah,
point, or at
yeah,
least want to.
yeah. I don't remember what round it was that Bud got old boy out, but I am predicting he wants to get him out of there faster than that. I got a feeling that boy he's going up to 140. I know they want to stay. I mean, he's going up to 154. I got a feeling. I got a feeling that's where he's going to
See,
land.
I was kind of we were talking about this with To, right? Um, and I think I made the statement that I'm not adverse to Boots going to 154, right?
Huh.
Um, but I think it congests things at 154. So the availability of the fighters and what the public want and what the promoters want can potentially become a little bit convoluted and those sorts of things. Now, where I see Boots potentially at 147 not tapping Stanionis or someone like that on the shoulder just to get that fight and to get that payday, I think it would be easier for Boots at 147 to get those fights. Whereas once he comes to 154, that is just becoming more and more stacked each month, each year. Um, just the congestion in there might actually.
Are you saying that he may get pushed back if he go there? He'll constantly
Well,
be pushed back in the back of the line.
I don't know about the back of the line, but I think that he's probably coming into a division where there's some names that have already established themselves. Now, um, Spence, Fondora, Lubin, Zoo, Crawford, Madrimov,
Mm-hmm.
Melchalo, potentially. Like you may actually be forced to wait in line, not
Right.
because you're not capable, but just because there's only so many promotions and fights that you can do on a year, unless you're Turkey Ali Sheik and you just have a massive 154 card.
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine that, just having a whole card of 154 of all of the
It'd
names,
be a fucking tournament. That'd be crazy, bro.
wouldn't it?
One
So,
fighting two, three fighting four, five fighting six. That'd be crazy. That'd be nuts. But when you break it down like that, like yeah, I agree with you. He would probably not be pushed all the way to the back of the line, but he'd definitely be waiting. But I think you're right. If he said 147, he probably get an opportunity quicker at 147 to fight somebody at 154 than him actually going to 154.
well, I think if he just gets another one of the titles, like a second one, because what's he got? He's got the IBF.
Right.
He didn't fight for it.
Uh-uh.
If he gets another title, I think that probably gives
Solidifies
promoters
it.
and well, it just gives the promoters and the public just a little bit more faith
Yeah.
that you know or comfort that they're willing to pay the dollars for the pay per view for him at 154. Because I guess it's just my
Makes sense.
because we've argued that Spence didn't bring any titles to 154.
Right.
He's got no right to claim super champ status as Bud did,
No.
right?
Right.
And he come off an ass whooping.
Right.
Now
Yeah,
it's
that was
just
some bullshit.
his name over history that says that gives him some credibility, and that's rightly so. But there's more questions than answers about where Spencer's at the moment, and for him to walk straight in and get a title shot is no different to Bud getting his title shot as a super champ. So
Mhm.
when you compare that status, how does the super champ get a title shot against Madrimov, and a non-title holder, a non-super champ that's just come off an ass whooping, also get a title shot against Fondora? You know,
Right.
and this is what I was saying to you, as a casual or just a sports fan, you're looking at it and you go, well, how the hell does that make sense? How do I follow this sport? How do I make sense of rankings? Who earns what? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
It's
no,
just a
that's a
free
fact.
for all.
Yeah, that's a fact. I said that. That's what deterred fans from boxing. It's like, how do I follow my favorite fighter and then he makes number one? He should be getting next up to be able to fight for the belt, but a guy could lose and just jump the line. You know what I mean? And be like, this shit is some bullshit. You know what I mean? Because let's be real. That's how all sports is. You follow your favorite person in that sport. You want them to be great at that sport so you can talk about them and all of that. You know what I mean? But then you constantly following somebody and they don't get their shot because other people keep on hopping the line. It like I say, it make fans look the other way. You know, and that's how UFC took over because they're more consistent, but they give their men a shot. You get what I'm saying? And they get their shot at their belts. Boxing is weird like that. On one hand, you got the WBC doing the right thing today, and then on the other hand, you got WBC doing some dumb shit, letting people jump the line and skip the line, or you know what I mean.
And
So
then you got the IBF just
stripping
stripping
people.
people because they woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I'll never
Right,
forget that.
right.
What? Bud beats Errol, and it must have been a week, maybe two. They've stripped him of the IBF.
Yep.
How's that make sense? He
Yep.
hasn't even made up his mind, whether he's going to come back and fight Boots or what he's going to do. We're just going to strip you. What?
Right. No, that's real.
They did the same to Opataya when he fought on Turkey Al Sheikh's card. They stripped
Yep.
him of the IBF title.
Yep.
So it looks like even the sanctioning bodies aren't, I
Not
suppose.
consistent. Not
Well,
consistent at all.
it looks like emotional decisions or tantrums rather than strategic ones or consistent ones. But what time is it over there?
It
You
is
don't have to
3.
stay here for me. You
It
can
is shit.
call it a night.
144. I didn't realize this is just great conversation for me, fam. I didn't even
All right.
realize it, but yeah, we've been on here 3 hours and 32 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down, Brody.
I'm only here to get an education.
What?
No, look, I do generally, if you stop and think, I do ask questions that give me some context that I can't or I won't get
Right,
overseas.
right. But it's great conversation, bro. I'm for it all the time, bro. It don't make me nothing. But
And
yeah,
tell Tio if he doesn't lift his game, I might have to reconsider my subscription to his channel.
he'll be. I'm pretty sure he gonna be on tomorrow, man, for the fights. I'm pretty sure.
All right. Well, look, go and get some shut eye. Wherever Mark and 913 is now, if you're still listening, even Mark's 913's younger fella, if he's still about here somewhere. Good night. Good to
Right
hear
on.
and see from you all.
Yes, sir. Salutes to DJ, man. I'll see you tomorrow, man.
Righto. Take it easy.
Yep. What?
Bye.
Yo, shout out to Lance. I know you trolling, bro. I know you. I know you trolling, bro. It's all good, man. If I thought you was harmful, I would have booted you, bro. I would have kicked you out the chat. But I'm not like that, bro. Like I said, it's the people show. You got something to say about me, it's all good, bro. I don't have nothing. Hey, we go back and forth all day. That's what I'm here for, bro. All day, man. The content, talk about sports and everything in between. That's the show, the judges table, man. It ain't just sports. We talk about everything, man. Real life, all of that. As y'all heard, you know what I mean? Tomorrow we do got Shakur fighting. All right, let's get to the schedule. Let me announce it right. Let's get to the schedule. Tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. UK. Shakur Stevenson versus Artem Hatunian. That's a 12-rounder. The card is nice. You got Kelvin Davis back with Top Rank. It seems like fighting over there, fighting Kevin Johnson. All right, you got Abdullah Mason, Louis LeBron, 8-rounder. Keyshawn Davis versus Miguel Maduno, 10-rounder. Osheki Foster versus Conceição Roberson, Conceição, 12-rounder. WBC junior lightweight title. You understand me? Hey, that's gonna be a good card. I know a lot of people talk bad about Shakur, but I think Shakur is gonna, as we say out here in St. Louis, he's gonna show up and show out. You understand me? Also, around that same time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. UK, Williams Zepeda. That's what I want to see fight Shakur. After Shakur win this fight, this is who Shakur need to fight. Williams Zepeda. All right. Versus Giovanni Cabrera, 12-rounder lightweight. And y'all know if you watching a DAZN card, it's a shitload of fights. So that's my God. That's a lot of fights. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 fights before you get to the main event. All right, moving along. London, England doing their thing. 2 p.m. Eastern. Johnny Fisher versus Alan Babick. That's on DAZN. They got boxing on all day tomorrow. And the card, I know a lot of people that they gonna watch. It's gonna be a Famio pay-per-view. Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal. And then you got Danny Jacobs versus Shane Mosley Jr. All right. And you got Kermel Moulton on there fighting somebody too as well. I don't know his opponent, but that's that. And that's the boxing layout for tomorrow. But I will be on this thing for the Williams Zepeda, Giovanni Cabrera, Shakur Stevenson, Artem Hatunian cards. And I might even be on here for the Babbitt card. I don't know. I might. You understand me? So y'all make sure y'all show up and show out for your boy. Support the channel. Share this. Tell a friend, tell a friend. You understand me? And yeah, man. I'm up out of here, man. Lance Meyer, salute to you, man. Straight up. Have a good evening, man. To you too. All right. Come back and hang out today. Because it is Saturday. I see y'all tonight, all right? Deuces, family.